Hi! We're live! Yay! We started the stream on time today. Not the content, but the stream was on time. Thank you all for joining us. That's our show. Just kidding. We have 4 more hours of shenanigans, maybe less, depending on... No, it's going to be at least 4, given the content of players here today. Cool. Welcome to Roll It Slant on the Rise. Monday Night Live on the Rise. That audio was so good it's gonna get cut off by the terms of use. Cool. Well, I'm gonna start tonight with a few announcements, as per always usual, and then we will get into the game. Yeah, jawohl. So, I don't know what the announcements are, but I'd like to thank Roll20.net for their continued sponsorship as part of the Roll20 Spotlight program, making it possible to do what we do. And it's really weird to watch myself delayed on this stream, so I'm not going to do that. Cool. Most of the music from tonight is brought to you by Kevin MacLeod of the Clan MacLeod from incomtech.io. Got that one.
That was early. Not Kevin MacLeod.
That was him. He's on the phone. So thank you for royalty free music. It is great. Adds quite a bit to the show. Let's see what else we got. Follow the social medias, please. Follow us on Twitch, please. Big shout out to everyone who was around last week and Anon for gifting some subs to a couple people. It was great. We had some great followers last week, and we had a giveaway winner. Very cool. We will be shipping that out now that I've remembered that we had a giveaway and I should ship something out. So that will be cool. Congratulations again to Ice Overlord. You will now have a spancy dice bag and some dice. Cool. We'll be doing another giveaway soon. So stay tuned. And now, without further ado, all the anticipation.
You seem to be further doing.
We're doing. What do I want?
More ado. I need some further.
Further ado. I'll do this one.
I don't like it without.
Yes, there we go. All right. Last time on the Rise, our heroes made it out of the paint monster pocket dimension after struggling a bit with life. They managed to paint themselves a happier picture and escape, saving the day and we'll say cursing, not really a curse, but uncursing a poor young painter's brushes and canvas from only being able to produce little demonic imps. It's a frequent first-year art student problem, but thank God we have a team of 5 highly talented heroes here. But the heroes did not emerge unscathed, both emotionally or physically, and noticed something upon their return. The streets of Vesular, though welcoming and as they remembered them, were different. There was a wispy gold energy wafting up from them, just scattered from place to place, and appeared to have some connection through astute observation and experimentation from our team that we know is a big fan of the scientific method. It definitely does everything in a rational, methodical way. That this wispy energy was somehow connected to the presence of magic. How, you may ask? We don't know yet.
How?
Well, maybe we'll find out tonight. on Roll It Slant's production of On the Rise. So, where last we left off, you were making your way after chatting with some folks at the Primarily School of Abjuration and Divination, now accepting applications for the upcoming fall semester, Zoom study at home program.
Where you can't expeditious retreat on yourself, and you just kind of run around a lot.
Yeah. Everyone's just like, I learned the message cantrip! I learned the message cantrip! You can respond to this message. So, you reported your findings back and were told to investigate further from your dubious mentor, Dorand, that this problem with the gold wafting energy was not something that they entirely believed, but did believe it would keep you busy enough to not bother them anymore. So, as you all decided, where were you going? You were going down to the square, Maudstein's Square? Was that the plan?
Well, we saw that tiefling come through the portal as we were heading down there.
But that's where you were heading after that?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, we'll just skip all of that, because that's probably not interesting to you at all. So we'll just go.
It's probably not important.
So
you give us a tiefling with a mohawk. I think that's interesting.
Yeah. We will. This is not the right notes document. Okay. So we will pick back up at that point. So let's get a little music going here.
Anything with maracas?
Sounds like a maraca. So, as you were making your way along the street after doing your experimentations with this golden energy, you saw a weird sort of golden shimmering portal, for lack of a better word, form up for a moment, and an individual was cast out of it across the street, smashing in a trail of this golden energy through a wall there. And shortly after that body was a very large tentacle, probably about 2 feet across or so, that sort of just came out and grabbed after that form. However, with a quick bit of action, Grithkul was able to scamper forward and give it a good whack, and it seems it was also struck towards its end, and in doing so made it so that the tentacle retreated back and the portal closed, leaving a small cloud of dust where this one wall has been shattered through, and you see a figure emerging, not looking directly up at you, but kind of dusting herself off. You see in front of you a female tiefling, unmistakably tiefling nature, short, kind of a reddish-orange complexion to her, 2 sets of pointed horns just mounted right up on her temple, very, very sort of stubby but pointy. Both sides of her head are cleanly shaven, and you can see that along the crest of her head is a strip of long, deep purple hair that goes from front to back in a mohawk, and kind of does mull it out a little bit into a ponytail in the back. And she's wearing a set of very well-used studded leather armor, and you can see that a portion of the left shoulder is looks like it's been completely torn off, and there's pretty nasty looking wound underneath it that's just kind of like, you can tell, bleeding through the tunic that she has on underneath, but she doesn't seem to be paying it too much heed. On her arms, going up sort of from wrist to elbow, there's a pair of sleek bracers that look like they're home to a whole variety of different small bladed weapons. No 2 of them look to be the same. All of them have somewhat stylized handles, and beyond that, she's wearing kind of billowy striped breeches that have a little cutout where a tail sticks out and kind of flaps behind her. And looking down, she's also wearing very sort of brightly colored purple leather boots that look like they've been dyed, and probably dyed several times, as there's different splotches of sort of haphazard consistency to their color. as she's dusting herself off from this, you can see she sort of hooks a menacing-looking mace back onto her belt that is there beside kind of a host of pouches. She's not wearing any sort of pack or anything, but it definitely looks like she's dressed kind of in the adventurer ilk, and she just sort of brushes off the dust, looks up, but kind of looks like past all of you, and doesn't seem to pay you any heed, and then just turns and starts walking down the road, kind of away from you in the direction that you were going.
I would like to. Bravo. That was fabulous. Did you see that? That was badass.
I'm gonna look around at everybody, and then I'm gonna kind of run after her.
Okay. Easy enough to catch up. She's not running or moving particularly fast. In fact, she is, for the first 2 or 3 steps, nursing a little bit of a limp that she kind of like shakes one of her legs out a little bit and resituates herself, kind of cracks her back, cracks her neck, and keeps on going.
Sorry, and I'm gonna kind of snap my fingers, and a little bit of kind of glowing golden energy is gonna spark up between them, and I'm gonna kind of touch her on the shoulder, and I'm gonna give her the 2 points of lay on hands that I have.
Oh!
Sorry, you're a little bit rough, a little bit worse for wear over there.
Whoa! Whoa. You can see me?
I can very much see you, yes. You're bleeding. I'm sorry, I don't...
She reaches out and kind of
Kadia, can you stop?
Pokes you in the forehead.
That's also rude.
Interesting.
Kadia, can you come and heal her? There's only so much I can do.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I would like to introduce myself to this badass lady who just fell from a portal.
I'm fine.
You're bleeding.
I'm fine.
I can see your insides.
I'm fine. It's blood. See? Blood. Great.
Yes, your insides are on your outsides.
Yeah, that's not great, but that little performance, that was wonderful.
What are you talking about?
You know how you just flew out of that portal and the tentacles were all like...
In what way was that great?
You did a great job. I mean, it was
I literally smashed through a wall.
Exactly. It was great. It was badass.
Great for my arm.
But you are...
Okay, here, I'll heal you a little bit, Dana.
No touching.
Oh.
No.
All right. I can do it from afar, if that's our...
Yeah, actually, just back up a little bit more.
I'll take
Keep it going.
Get back down the street.
Why?
This is good.
Hang on. Looking around, did other people see this spectacle? I can't remember from last time.
There weren't really. Somebody searched, and they didn't really notice anybody that was watching or saw anything.
So nobody saw this wall come down and this tentacle come out?
Nobody seems to be have reacted to any of it.
Well, I'll do a healing word anyway.
All right, fair enough. As she sees you casting, she just sort of winces a little bit and looks at her arm.
Take 6 points of damage. Radiant.
And she got 2 points of lay on hands from me as well.
All right.
I don't know why it rolled twice.
Her wound is definitely substantially better. She kind of takes another step back away from you.
And Rihanna kind of steps back a little bit as well. Rihanna and Mordov, is being seen not a usual state of affairs for you?
No, I'm not usually seen. That's why I asked if you could see me.
Are you one of those that just likes to walk around invisible? Is that what you mean?
Do I look invisible?
Well, no, but
not invisible. Just not where you can see me. 2 completely different things.
Well, I'm Kadia Kieran.
Great.
Not that you asked my name. What was your name again? Sorry.
I didn't give you it.
Oh. Okay, that's fine.
Hold on. How can you all see me?
Well, I'm using my eyes, and I'm faced in your general direction.
Why would we not usually be able to see you?
Did you see the...
Yes.
Yes, the tentacle.
Yeah.
I hit it with, you know,
hit it, yeah.
big hammer.
Interesting.
Do you happen to see like it's
Golden
gonna sound
sparkle
like I've
dust?
been doing drugs, but like golden energy
Too late for
around
that, hun.
here right now? It's fine. It's
To
fine.
be fair, you did just get attacked by a large tentacle.
Yeah.
Right.
But do you see like anything floating around, like magical energy wafting around from the ground?
You mean the residuum?
Yeah, that's it. I thought I could make it change colors, but I can't.
Well, you were definitely incorrect. But yes, I can see it, and it makes sense that you can too. Unfortunate for you, probably. But yeah, I guess welcome to the other side.
What is other side?
The what now?
Well, if you can see me and that, then probably, you know, crossed some sort of barrier here.
We did die several times earlier today.
Is it like a barrier that overlaps? Is it like where we live right now?
Katie.
This is a DM question.
Oh, okay. I thought Katie was standing to the side with a hand up.
Acadia would not do that.
No.
Yeah,
but I
question.
wanted to check her out. Does she have a necklace?
Nice.
Yeah, I'll check her out.
Make an investigation roll.
Investigation. $14.
All right, pretty good, pretty good. So looking her over a little bit more carefully, you don't notice any necklace or anything. She does have some sort of smaller hooped earrings on her ears, and the thing that strikes you is you do see on both sides of her neck there are these two crescent moon tattoos and looking over with that roll, you also notice that the same tattoos are kind of just like right above the elbow, the same crescent moons kind of like mirrored on both sides. And it does look like she's wearing a ring of some kind.
Ooh, I love that ring. That is so pretty. Can I see that? I mean, not like, just, hold it out like where I can look at it. I like jewelry.
Why is it always the weirdest people that end up over here? It's a ring. Great. She sort of like holds it up like uncomfortably close to your face now.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah. It's great.
That's pretty.
Where is over here? What do you mean?
Well, think we're on Barnabas Street from the looks of it.
You are being very difficult for some reason. Do you have things to hide, perhaps?
Well, I'm not usually welcomed by a welcoming committee. Is this like a new wizard school thing?
Oh no.
Not a wizard.
She kind of like looks over at Doran Geoth around back behind you.
Yeah, yes, it is.
No.
I mean, 1/5 of us is a wizarding school thing. 1/5 of us is like a free spirit, just kind of like exploring the world and not being shackled by an organization. You know?
It is me.
I like to think that I'm free-spirited, kind of.
Yeah, but you're
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
As off topic as my comrades are, I guess the important question is, since we don't seem to understand why we can see you, is there any way you can fill in those gaps?
Well,
Because we can also interact with regular people. I'm unsure if you can.
wait. You, and she points over at I almost said Jesse because your thing says Jesse at Kadia.
I'll change it.
She points over at you, Kadia. Try to walk through that wall.
Walk through a wall.
It'll be the coolest thing you've done today. And she just sort of like points at the building.
Today.
Well, I wouldn't say that because like we kind of like did a time.
Just walk through the wall.
Okay. I'm gonna walk towards the wall, but I'm gonna be like hands out and like like that whole.
No, you gotta commit to it, otherwise it won't work.
Really? Are you like putting me on?
Have you seen play of Harold Potter? You must run at wall to get through wall.
Graceful. I'm a little bit offended, but okay.
You got it. You got it, Katie. You can do it. You can do it.
I'm just gonna walk through the wall.
Okay. You walk straight into the wall as if it were a wall.
I told you! That's not funny. That's not very nice. I didn't do that to you. I healed you, didn't I?
I mean, I just walked through a wall, so...
Oh, no, you crashed through a wall.
That's true.
But
it is a good thing to know. So you can't move through walls yet.
Yet?
You're kind of new to this. Which is cool, that's fine. A lot of that recently, making my life kind of difficult. How long have you, been able to see all this?
After the time loop.
Hour and a half, probably.
Oh. Huh.
It felt like
I don't know. There was a very long wizard conversation, and I kind of blanked out for most of it, so...
Yeah, they are, pretty talkative.
Long.
Well...
I didn't
that
like
was
it
even
because...
half of a learning period. What are you talking about?
Do you see this thing around my neck? It's my forever accessory now. We have to find the last one.
Great.
Not great.
So, you do see everything. Can you... Well, you can touch me. Do you go through other people?
No.
Not that I've noticed.
Huh.
Haven't
Interesting.
tried
Other
it.
people?
Do you?
And as you're saying this, there are like people sort of coming down the street. It's a large group of probably about 24 or so, dressed very well, headed sort of in the direction that you all were originally going. And as you kind of ask that question, you can see that they all start trying to move through you. Probably about half of them have like these decorative masks on and such, and they just kind of step right through her, and as they go, they kind of just, weave their as best as they can to you guys just standing like randomly haphazard in the road. Some of them look over and like look at the wall, and then look back at all of you guys, and then they just like put their heads down and keep walking. But they definitely pass right through her.
I cannot become invisible. How will I ever be discovered if I'm invisible?
That's a tough one, yeah. But you almost got the wall thing. That was pretty good.
I wouldn't really say almost, but...
Right. Well...
That was a fun joke, for sure.
Just keep trying. So, alright. Interesting. Well, you asked on the other side of what? So, I'll explain it as best I understand it. Just not very well, but I think you'll come to learn that you don't really need to understand things in order for them to be useful.
I understand that totally.
That's a good start.
It makes no sense.
You're
Great.
definitely not a wizard.
I'm offended and hurt
I mean,
and a little bit offended.
What is offended?
All right.
let's not learn. Don't teach her that word. She'll use it all the time.
All right. This is exhausting, and I just spent 3 hours fighting tentacle monsters. So the planes, as you know them, you're all familiar with the planes, right? Multiverse.
Of course, that's basic advanced.
Basic
Let's see. Maybe I do. I don't know about the others.
Cold Star Wizard.
I mean, I understand the elemental planes. There are other ones I'm a little shaky around.
Well, there's a bunch of planes. They're different than here. That's all you really need to know. It's like a bunch of different places that you can't get to by walking, or boat, or running, or swimming.
Or walking through walls, apparently.
That one might actually get you to a different place. So there are All right. Imagine, if you will, and she kind of like spins around quickly and scampers over to a wall and just kind of like leans up against the wall. Imagine, if you will, a window. And
That's
there's just like there's a multi-paned window sort of like right next to her. So, the planes, as you know them, are all of these neat little organized panels of glass, right? So you could live right here on the material pane. Get it? So
Cute.
You get demerits for puns one time.
Please continue.
Great. So it's easy enough to kind of be on this one and then just hop over the little dividey bit in the middle. What the dividey bit is isn't really important, right? We with each other so far?
Wrong.
Sure.
It's vastly important, but go on.
You just hop past it. I mean, there's nothing in the middle, which is not entirely true. So, what happens is, with all of this, we're in the middle, per se. I don't think many people know about it. So, imagine, if you will, if she just smashes her elbow through one of the panes of the window and all the glass comes just like falling out onto the ground. And then she scoops up some of the shattered glass. Imagine, if you will, if one of the planes broke, but then somehow she kind of like backs up a few steps and just like hurls all the shards of glass at the window, and they all just sort of like slam into the other panes of glass and shatter more, and there's glass everywhere now. Imagine, if you will, if some of those, just got stuck in the other windows. Like if it weren't glass. No, you're the dirt on the glass.
Oh,
Okay.
I don't like being referred to as dirt, but
So,
And there's shards of planes and other planes.
what you just saw here was one of those shards of glass hitting the pane that you're on. And it gets stuck, sometimes for a long time, sometimes for a short time. And when they're stuck together, you can walk from one to the other.
how do you know when it happens?
Tentacles?
Just sort of a opportunistic thing, I guess. Can't give away all of the trade secrets. So,
What trade are we in?
I have a more pressing question. You use the metaphor of breaking glass, so what's broken?
oh, well, remember I said you don't have to really understand things for them to be useful? I think at one point what was broken was not broken, like the window. And then something big and strong, like me, came along and smashed the window, the plane, if you will, and shattered it. And now it's just floating around there in what I like to call the shatter. And so you get all these little shards floating through the air, only in this case it's not air, it's just the stuff in between. And you can go to each of those shards of glass anytime they come in contact with the plane that you're in. And they just sort of float around and collide with everything, and it's a lot of chaos, but can be profitable. And so whatever used to live on this pane is now either fallen off of it, or on one of the little fractured pieces of glass, or has figured out how to get on one of the fractured pieces of glass from a different plane that's hit it and has made its home there. It's pretty simple, right?
Have you ever time traveled?
No, let's not be ridiculous, okay?
Well, we
what-
did it today. I'm just not such an odd question.
My understanding of the planes was that there were a finite number of planes. So which one is broken?
Like I said, you don't have to understand everything. I don't really know. None of the ones I've been to have been particularly nice, so it's probably not one of the nice ones. I've never been to another plane, though, so maybe the nice ones are really crappy. Maybe all of the planes are broken. Has anyone been to a different plane recently?
I'd rather not talk about it. At least one of the planes is intact. So these shards are floating around, and you go to the shards, and what? There's tentacle monsters?
Well, sometimes. Well, one time. Twice.
Okay, 2 times
Twice.
Out of how many?
Wasn't the same monster, though. Definitely different tentacles.
Glad you have tentacle opinions.
Well, you've got to, keep your eye on what's coming after you, right? So
Eye on the tentacle, sure.
Yeah. I guess you could call me a traveler of the Shatter. Kind of like that. Sort of a interplanar rover, if you will. Kind of a prospector, right? So a lot of times, if you don't want to be found, you go somewhere that it's hard to get to and that people don't really know about. And one of the reasons that you'd want to go somewhere is if you want to take something extremely valuable with you. That's where
like
I come in.
Oh, you transport things?
Yes, we'll say that. I find the valuable things and then I transport them.
You are interplanar thief?
That's a really...
It is loaded word, but accurate word, I think.
Are you the only other one? Or is there a lot of us? And how long have you been doing this?
Well, the better part of 4 years now.
Where
And
are you originally from?
well, I was born a while back, and ended up here after doing some odd jobs. Spent a lot of time in the Dracora Empire. Never really knew my father, but I hear he was, quite the rapscallion, as my mother would call him. And I, ended up here, and through a little bit of fortuitous luck, kind of fell through something, and at the time I didn't really know what I was doing, but luckily kind of fell back through, and then I could see things, and I slowly kind of started figuring it out, and I see all of these, she kind of like points at you, people who think they're adventurous or something, trying to specialize. I don't really see the need. So, I mean, you, and she points over at you, Dorngios, you are clearly one of the book wizards, which is great. So, if I need a book, I just go to the book wizard school, take it, and learn whatever I need to in the book. Or if I, need a little bit of...
In the book? Like...
The files are in the computer. No, I open it up and I read it.
Oh, okay, because that would be, like, awesome.
I will let you know if I start a new metaphor. Alright. I generally avoid the musical schools.
I do too, I understand.
If I need a weapon, those are usually a little bit harder to come by, but take what I can find. And the one thing that I will learn, or that I did learn, is that the more you do it, the further it pushes you into the middle. So, there was a flaw in my original career decision plan, and all of the stuff that I brought back is kind of the same as me. I can touch it and hold it, and great, but try to give it to somebody else, or, redistribute its location, it's not exactly tangible. And so I'm storing it for now. And I think that if I stop for long enough, it will all just settle. And I'll be rich.
So do you plan on settling here? Do you want to go to the bar? We were going to go buy masks, but I'm totally filling the bar now.
Literally cannot interact with any other person.
Yeah,
you can interact with us.
Besides, I have other people I need to take care of. You are not the first to stumble into the middle of the Shatter. You are the most inquisitive, though, which I guess will either get you killed or, carry you along. But y'all seem like you don't need my help, so...
Oh, no! I think you're wrong. We need you. We don't even know your name.
Well, I suppose it's enough of a circumstance. My name is Haley Imgian Deleterious.
Well, it's very
You can call me Danger for short.
Danger? How adorable! She's
not adorable, dangerous.
Dangerous. So cute.
All right. So, if you can still interact, though, you're different than anybody I've seen come through.
Can I ask you one more question, David?
I'm sure we shouldn't start lying to each other now.
So, yes.
It's
okay,
fair assessment.
So, do you see this necklace? It's a watch. Have you ever seen this before?
I've seen watches before.
Yeah, but this one, like, see, we all have matching.
Never seen that one on your neck before, no.
Yeah, but they're all matching ones. Like,
that's cute. Are you guys some sort of, like, squad? Do you have, like, a name?
No. We kind of just got stuck together.
Assigned.
Yeah, I shouldn't say stuck, because I kind of love all of you.
It's like a group college project with no end.
Well, good luck with that.
But this is like nothing that you've transported before? Like,
I mean, I've moved necklaces before, but they're usually, have some sort of power gem or ultrastone or,
This thing?
I had one with the flamey bit.
Well,
Kezia, I think it is pretty clear that she does not know what the necklace is.
Well, maybe she has the sixth one, maybe.
Well, I think if she had the
Maybe
sixth
not.
necklace, she would probably recognize the necklaces that we are talking about, you think?
Well, she kind of just messed up, and I just want to make sure.
Perhaps you should ask her again. Maybe this time, in the time since you asked her the last 3 times, she has found necklace.
Okay, have you seen a sixth necklace that looks like this one that we're all wearing? See, we can't take them off. I mean, we can take them off, but look, it's just right back on my neck. Magic.
Well, that's definitely magic. Be careful with that.
I can't get rid of it until we find the sixth one.
So beyond the fact that we're in some sort of fractured, shattered sub-reality.
Oh, it's definitely real.
We bleed into both the place that this is and the place that this isn't. And that's fine. Are there any local denizens of this side of it that we need to be aware of? People we should seek out and others that maybe we should avoid?
Well, there are things that, can come through. If I can move, so can a lot of other stuff.
Where do they come through from? So if this is touching here, what's the other side of this touching?
You've lost me. She just kind of picks up the shard of glass. So, throws it the window again.
Right. So if we are in this pane of glass and a fracture has come here, or we're on the fracture and we've struck that pane of glass, that's either fine. But is it quite possible that it's touching more than one pane of glass at the same time, allowing those to cross over easily?
Anytime a pane touches, I reckon that you can cross.
And does it always touch the same places?
Oh no. It's quite random.
We're very much in motion of sorts.
Everything's in motion, like the flying glass. See, he gets it. This is good. Why weren't you talking this whole time?
I kind of like.
Sorry, I
taking
can't rein them
sometimes.
in.
It's fine. You asked about other denizens. Anytime I find somebody who's, wandering around, look like they, seen something weird, and have people walk through them, that's the other big tell. I kind of rein them in. There hadn't been anyone for a long time, but in the last few months, there's been quite a few. There were those poor twin little boys found hungry, scared half to death. They still haven't said more than a murmur, but
You're the ghost thing, right, guys? The news earlier.
Oh, the crier. The crier told us a story. What was it again?
A whole bunch of people that are going missing and stuff, and
Or
like
disappearances before the eyes of witnesses.
Yes.
Total to over 13 in the past 2 months.
you're the ghost. Mystery solved.
not dead, just in the shatter.
Yeah.
Have you... But you're not capable of pulling people into this middle, as you call it.
I don't want anyone else here. This is sort of where I'm happy to be.
Okay, so she may have been mistaken for the ghost, but whatever is dragging people into the shatter in the dock ward is still doing that.
Blamed upon
She's not
her.
doing it.
Also, has anyone that you've witnessed come here go back?
Well, I did start thinking about that because, after a while, I'm starting to get a lot of mouths to feed, and kind of a solo operation, There's about a dozen of us now, and yeah, so I'd like to send them on their way, but you can't just throw some young kids out into the shatter and have them expect not get eaten by tentacle monsters. So, I mean, I did a little bit of research. Went back to the wizard book place, and with a little guidance from the moon, I relocated one of their books. And you'd think that they would, as a wizard place, have better protections against things just coming in and taking things. But shows you how little people know about the Shatter. I mean, you've never heard of it. You look like a upstandingly smart gentleman.
No, I'm pretty sure it's not actually officially labeled the Shatter. That's
No.
a moniker for
I
it. That's
have
fine.
coined the name, and so it shall
I like
be.
it.
TM.
In the book, from what I remember, there was another city here before this city was here, way back in some ancient time. There's some culture of elves or something like that, and it was buried by a flood. It was from dragons caused the flood. I don't really remember. I skipped a bit. Okay, I skipped a lot in the middle. It was a really dry book for something that was about a flooded city. But towards the end, there was a chapter about something called Cult of the Half-Life, which, struck my attention as we're kind of half in between. And it was described as something for those who wanted all of the experiences of the void of nothingness, but without all the commitment.
I get that.
Yeah. People want different things from life. And so the story went that some fishermen had dredged up in a net this idol from the abyss, the depths out there in the ocean. And from what I gather, this cult's got a hold of it, and, it can, if you do the right things, put people into the abyss, pull them back, put them close, but not quite in the abyss. You know, you don't want to go full abyss.
It'd be abysmal.
Yeah. I'm hoping it's not like a literal thing, and that you can kind of do a little bit more with it. That's about as far as I got.
When you say the abyss, do you mean it with a capital A or a small A? Okay.
I'm not
Yes.
really a linguist.
I get it.
I mean, are you referring to the plane, the abyss, where the demons are?
There's a plane
Or-
called the Abyss?
Never mind.
Huh.
Abyss with a small A, then.
Well, she's not
maybe.
fisherman. Maybe it's
Like, the abyss, that's what I mean. Like, a small A is in the abyss of the dark
I
ocean, or...
didn't write the book. I got nothing for you, sorry.
Do you know the name of the story? Like, you know how sometimes people name their stories?
You mean the title?
Yeah, title!
Not
Oh.
of the thing.
No, I kind of had an otherworldly guiding hand that just took me to the right place. So I, just opened it up.
That you talk about?
Hmm?
The moon? No,
Yes. Yeah.
moon.
Yeah.
Cool. How'd you get in there? Is it a thing? Like a club? Or you have to, like, be a traveler of the Shatter?
It's called a religion.
Oh, a religion!
Actually,
Okay.
yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I've never run across anyone that,
Has a religion before.
Well, not that. I wouldn't say that because, like, I've traveled to a lot of places, and like the orcs have their religion, and elves have their religion, and there's a bunch of different religions that different elves have, and then the wizards, like, they're forcing people, and the druids, like, there's so many gods and goddesses out there. It is insane. I've just never heard about that one before. Interesting.
Great. Yeah. So
You seem to tell us a lot for just meeting us.
Then
I mean,
That's
We
not
were
quite-
asking questions,
do not question this. Perhaps she will stop, and this will be bad.
I was
I
content
just-
to just completely walk away, and now I'm working under this sort of social contract assumption that if I answer enough of your questions, I'll never have to see you again.
Oh, I don't think
That does
that's
seem
gonna happen.
unlikely.
I don't. I love how it's like kind of like open you're being with,
Right.
your
It's
journey and your
motivated
path.
by a desire for isolation.
Speaking
Really,
of desire
it seems like you could have walked away at any time.
Can I? Is that?
I feel no.
I was
I
taught that
feel
that
like
was
you're drawn to
rude,
us.
but
We will follow you.
yeah. See, that's what I'm worried about.
But, like, you're feeding other kids and stuff, so, like,
Yeah, there's like something.
you like people, don't you?
I never said I didn't.
Yeah. You're just, like, faking it by, like, oh, I want to be alone.
Well, no, I really don't want to be around you for any longer than I have to.
But I love you. You're just so cute. I mean, look at these purple boots. Where did you get those boots? Because I would really, really, really like some, like, yellow ones. I think that would be really cute. Can I get the name of your shoe guy? I can't remember. What are they called?
You guy.
Cobblers.
Cobbler. That's it. Well, you must have got them a long time ago, right? Because you can't interact with people. So, was it from a different plane? Or, like, were they a gift from your dad? Or
No.
I can keep guessing.
So, I think the boots came from part of the business deal.
Business deal.
Yeah, there was this woman who had an item that needed to be relocated, but at the last moment, she decided that her not knowing about the needed relocation was problematic in my relocation of it. So, she was wearing really nice boots at the time.
Those boots. They are really nice.
Yeah, these ones. I tried to keep them up as best I can, but, you know, blood is hard to get out of things.
Oh, I can fix that. You want to be, like, blood-free.
Don't touch me.
Prestidigitation. I don't want to touch you.
Okay, but like I said, be careful with that. You can't just go around doing that all the time.
Why?
We don't know what it will attract here.
Look at the ground.
Yeah. Seems to be attracted to magic. But this is like a really magical city, so it's going to be everywhere all the time.
Alright, but we are not just in Magical City, we are in other plane where perhaps other things that are attracted to magic and also have large tentacles are. So we might not attract large tentacle if we are just in city, but we are in other plane of tentacle beasts, then we have to be careful about tentacle beast things, you know?
So you're telling me I can't use magic?
No, she is saying you must be careful with magic and you must not use it with no thought behind it, no reason, just to clean blood off boot.
I've been a lot of other places on the material plane. This is a here thing.
What's
Oh,
in
this
here
isn't
thing?
happening anywhere else?
Not nearly to this extent.
That's because this is a super magic city. Or at least that's what I do.
So you have do you refer to this, what do you call it, residuum, or are you referring to the shards impacting?
The residuum. But nowhere else has... And she just picks up some more glass and throws it, and then runs out of glass and takes another rock and just throws it through a different window pane.
Stop doing property damage. They can only see us.
I'm not sure what my point there was, but
Type of property damage.
I'm not the only creature that survives on this whole ecosystem, shall you say. And she sort of bends down and kind of scoops her hand through, and you can see she kind of like can actually like pick it up to some degree of the residuum. Scooped it up into her hand, sort of spreads it about, just sort of wafts back down. This draws all sorts of things here, and I'm starting to get the impression that, you know, maybe if you have shards of glass and you throw them at something that's coated in this stuff, they don't go randomly where they want. They go to the stuff.
If you picked up the glass, why do people walk through you?
Because they're people and not glass.
Oh, so you like just...
She's not quite here, not quite there, I believe.
Can't
I mean, if I fell through everything, I wouldn't be here. I would be somewhere in the ground. And that would be terribly inconvenient for my life.
Life is terribly inconvenient for life sometimes, so...
I am
It's...
coming more and more in line to that way of
Yeah.
thinking.
So where's this flock of people?
Well, you all seem harmless enough that I guess it wouldn't hurt. My place is in the sewers under Old Town.
This is where you're keeping the people?
Yeah, well, you can't have them, you know, out and about in the streets getting all depressed that they can't see or touch or interact with anyone in more than some sort of, like, spooky poltergeisty type way.
Well, how long
Speaking
before
of
we do
interacting.
like that? Because there's this concert I want to go to. I'm gonna be really upset if I can't go to it.
Well, I mean, if you're on both sides, then I don't see your problem. You can also go anywhere else. You literally don't have to follow me for the rest of my life.
Nor do we intend to. I would like, however, to get the names of those who are you are aiding. As we can interact with the rest of them, we might be able to bring word to their families or whatever.
Well, that's downright noble of you. Two boys, unfortunately, they haven't said a peep. They're half-elves. I don't know much more than that.
And maybe we can coax their names or discover them in some other manner.
It's worth a shot. There's
we could at least help the people who are worried about them. Let them know that they are existing in whatever manner this is, and that we intend to further.
I would be careful about who you tell, though, because the last thing we want is more book wizards snooping about all of this. Because you know what book wizards like to do?
Fix things, yes, I know.
But how do they like to fix things?
Correctly.
In this case, I don't think their preferred modus operandi is exactly going to help the problem.
They do a lot of experiment and poking around, and
they cast a lot of magic.
Maybe experiment leads to further problem, and all civilization is taken down into great void of dark blackness, and everybody die. You know?
Assuming the end of the world is going to be imminent, there's no avoiding it. And if it's not imminent, wizards are the only one that would be able to recognize the problem well in advance.
No, that is not true.
I don't think she's a wizard.
I am able to see
Again,
houses on
offended.
fire.
I was talking. Never mind. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to offend you. Like, I'm really not. Like, I really love your vibe.
My insight to see if she loves our vibe.
No roll needed.
He wants to kill us.
Can I answer for her?
I knew the answer to that. My passive is pretty good.
You.
What is your passive aggressive?
Aggressive.
15-15.
Ah, yes.
You asked for the other names. There's Throwfek Brightjaw. He's a bit daft. Fisherman. I found him in the middle of the street, kind of up a half a dozen blocks or so past the Tri-Market there by the butcher. He was in the middle of the street in his small fishing boat. Wouldn't get out for the longest time. Really annoying. And he insisted on carrying that freaking boat all the way down to the sewers. So we had to walk down and bring the freaking boat with us. Maybe you've heard of it. The day the boat walked through the city, it was quite a great time.
I thought that was just a weird limerick people were talking about.
Nope. Guilty as charged, but got the boat out of the way, which is nice. I don't even know how he got it there on his own. So that's Throwfek.
Person.
Unclear.
Well, like when we were like in the other little portal thing, there were these paintings.
What other portal?
Where we time traveled earlier today. It's a
right.
long story. I can tell you all about it, but there was this painting down there. There was a man and a boat, and you just said that he brought a boat down into the sewers. So it was like,
so you saw something somewhere in the Shatter.
I don't know. We went through this portal. Okay, so like there was this kid, the clockmaker's nephew, uncle, son, daughter, whatever. I don't know. He was a boy. Anyway, so not daughter. He was like painting these creatures from like some merchant gave him something, or like gave him some power or something like that. And so we followed these little paint goblin little things into this thing, and that's where we died a bunch today. And then like time kept resetting, so we had to go through 3 times, and then we finally made it out. But anyway, there was this painting down there, and there's a boat cut out, so it's just like a shadow, and we never saw a boat person, and there was some man, so I was just curious, you know.
Actually, I have a question for the DM. Do I remember how many people were missing from the urban scene? Because I have written down urban scene with missing people, but I didn't make note of how many.
It was announced.
Did anybody else write that down?
Maybe.
Oh.
So, the other names?
Please.
There's Jensmus. She was a poor gnomish traveler. Came all the way straight from the other side of the continent. And she just told me that she'd been lost and it was getting late, and nobody would answer her inquiries until she quite literally bumped into me. And, well, gave me a right startle, as you can imagine if you're used to walking through things and you walk into them, especially if they're short. Not really great. She's a sweetheart. She's been looking after the boys, but traveler. I don't think she was here very long. Then there's that couple, Ephesine and Alexander, the stout takers. Good, wholesome Dracoran couple. You know, destined to fulfill the dreams of the Empire. Yeah, they were saying that they had gone for an evening stroll, and then they woke up in the middle of the Tri-Market, with crowds of people moving through them. There's about half a dozen others, sort of similar stories, out and about, and then, you know, out of the about.
Well, given an opportunity, we'd like to speak with them. Maybe there's something in their transitional story from there to here that we all have in common that may unlock the path forward or backward. Either way, I don't like this current position of unsure. It's just we like to understand things.
I understand. But I think the quicker that you get comfortable with having no idea what the hell is going on, the quicker you're going to be successful in just jumping in the first thing that opens up and hoping for the best.
That is my life philosophy.
We did that 3 times recently. I gotta tell you, 2 of the 3 times were big mistakes.
Huh. But the third was great, so you must be learning.
Not great. Not great.
If you die, do you like die?
Never tried it.
Have you ever like been with someone else though, and like they
That died?
Mm-hmm.
The boot lady.
The boot lady. Did she die?
Did you make her die?
I actually honestly don't know. She seemed pretty dead when I took the boots. I mean, sometimes people get back up. It's fine.
Well, like, I just mean like that some of us died.
You gotta roll
Actually,
20
all
to
of
get
us
back
died.
up. It's not so easy.
And then we just went back through the time loop. So,
Right, you know, as you do.
as you do with these things.
Well, I mean, if you've got a free pass from death, I would be hopping in as many portals as I could and see where they take you.
Somehow I don't think it's quite that simple.
Maybe it is.
I would like to, you know, like just observing her through this whole interaction, just insight check to see, like I'm sure there's been some lies in there, but has what she been saying been mostly truthful? Like I want to see like
Make
how.
an-
One on lie detector.
Make an insight check.
Yep.
What's that face?
24.
That's great.
Excellent. You get the sense that she's used to kind of talking her way in and around things that she doesn't necessarily want to tell. And likely she's probably glazing over things that she knows. Probably motivated both by a desire to, you know, not have this conversation be infinite in length.
Too
But
bad.
also you get the sense, the overwhelming motivation that she's actually a little bit territorial about the place that you're in, the Shatter. And there is a little bit of a concern, as all of the people she described are very, you know, plain, mundane people. They're not a party of adventurers, and now all of a sudden there's a party of adventurers here. So there is a little bit of a threatened vibe that she's trying to conceal.
We're kind of here by accident and not intentionally. I mean, it's kind of obvious, I know. So...
Everyone who ends up here, as far as I can tell from our plane, is here accidentally. If there's something here on purpose, you run as fast as you can.
Okay.
Perhaps now we should go and follow up on some of these things? Yes? People?
Mm-hmm.
Where do you wish to go? What do you wish to do?
Do you want to come with us?
I don't know where you're going.
Because, like, we were going to go buy some masks, but now I don't know what we're doing.
Not gonna work out too well for me. Don't need one either.
For those of you who recorded what the prior had said, I think we can scratch the missing persons case off the list of things to investigate.
Unless you still want to do the whole...
Well, I mean, they are specifically disappearing. I mean, it's worth to do the last bit of that legwork, right? To make sure that, I mean, if the shards are attracted to residuum, then what is it by the wharves that's making them? You know, like why are so many people disappearing now, and why are they all disappearing there?
Right. So if we just go to the area, then we should be able to see the residuum reacting to whatever it is, the focal point causing some sort of issue.
Seems very possible.
Oh, and I suppose we'll head there next, yes?
Well, it's the middle of the night. I guess it does happen in the middle of the night. So
Kind of like,
yes.
It's not the middle of the night at the moment. It's sort of like early evening. Just remember,
So
you
yes,
you got out of that other portal like 1 p.m. or something, right? So it's like just starting to very slowly get dark right now. So you're guessing there's probably like 2 or 3 more hours till darkness.
Hey, I thought you said there was like a dozen of you guys. You only give us like 3 or 4 names.
Well, I don't remember all their names.
Oh. Okay.
Do you know the names of the last dozen people you met?
Please don't.
Don't answer that.
Scratch 5 people off the list, like
Danger.
right now. There's some man I talked to in the street, but I didn't get his name.
So you do not know. So there we go. She is correct. Let's move on.
I'm sure they know their names. Sewer's pretty easy to find. Just, you know, watch somebody throw some shit out their window and follow it down the gutter.
And so you're just in the sewer generally?
Well, I mean, when I'm not doing other things, sure. I don't, you know, hang out there for fun. But
Sure, it's just if we wanted to find you or to talk to these people who have disappeared.
yeah, Sewer's under Old Town. You're probably gonna have to enter. She kind of thinks to herself. Y'all from around here?
Oh yeah. Well, kind of. Like I've traveled a lot, but yeah.
What she said.
Not even remotely.
If you head
I am from here.
south out of Modstein's and go for about halfway to the old fort there, there's a juncture of a bunch of streets. There's a couple big drains there. Lots of it's the lowest point in Old Town, so it's the way in.
What time is it? Didn't that guy say that we had to be someplace at some time? He did. What was... man.
What
I'm
man?
so bad with time. The news guy.
The news guy has no opinions on anything that we're
No,
doing.
but he said no. He said there's an event happening in in the square.
You wanted to go to some kind of play or concert or thing,
It's
right?
a once in a lifetime event, okay?
Well, I don't know if I believe that. I think
I mean,
I'm of opinion that saving people from disappearing into alternate dimension is
Well,
more
we're walking
important.
right
But if everybody wishes to go to performance instead, then
Well, the performance is both sold out and I believe not today.
Yeah, but he said there was some other once in a lifetime event.
No, he said that there is a.
There might be a mass performance tonight by
Yes.
her, but here's the thing: she's gonna be hiding, and she's as good as they say she is. We're not gonna be able to find her.
But
There's
maybe there's a chance.
I
If we're
know.
walking through the square anyway.
Well, this is also a once in a lifetime opportunity.
you're living life wrong if everything is not the only time you do it.
Ziliana's
reading
like working
too
that
many
math
books.
out in her head, like really hard.
Well, do you want to walk with us? Are you going back to the sewer now? Where are you going? Where are you heading? Are you going to do some other like sort of adventure or something?
No, I was unsuccessful. I don't have anything else to do. The family is fed. At least I think I left enough food for them. They'll be fine. I can come with you. I'm not sure I want to. Make a persuasion roll.
Persuasion.
Can I give her disadvantage somehow?
20.
She sort of
The unhelpful action.
looks at. Yeah, I'd like to unhelp you. I cast disaid. I suppose. I don't have anything better to do. And if you are going to come back, and at least see this, little group that we've got, and to make sure you're safe. But if I see any of you looking at any of my relocated objects, just sort of like looks down at both of her arms.
That me.
She has daggers, like I think, all holstered in her bracers.
Oh.
I think she's
I have
covered in knives.
Yeah, her forearms are covered in throwing knives.
I don't want any more objects today. I'm already stuck with this one.
Well, if you do the wrong thing, you'll be stuck with these ones too.
Nice pun.
Not a pun.
Okay.
Yes, it's a play on words. It has multiple meanings.
Where are you dragging me?
We're going to the sewers.
I thought we were going to the docks.
I
Oh,
thought we were going to docks too.
okay. I thought they were in the same place.
Wait, what?
I was half listening.
The disappearing people are happening at the docks. That is our news. That is our current, as far
And
as I'm
probably
aware.
the disappeared people are in the sewers.
Yes,
They're interconnected.
Okay.
docks first. And oh, by the way, Kadia?
India.
Right, sorry. Very difficult. If this particular performer is of a certain caliber, I would expect that we have an advantage to find them, as this residuum should be also revolving around such a master performer.
Ooh. Wait,
So keep
are
your
the
eye out.
docks through the square?
Where
No,
you are,
this-
where you are now, you'd kind of have to head west to the harbor where all the docks and everything are, and then you'd head south. So it's sort of, it's not exactly like on your way there, but it's, pretty close.
All right, let's.
And you
hurry to the
guys
dock.
would know that like after dark and like dusk, that time is when mod scenes, like, stuff really actually starts happening. Like there's always things there, but like that's when the big people go, because everyone's done working and all of that.
That's when I make my most money.
Yeah. Yeah, you especially would sort of know the habits of there. So you'd guess if there was going to be something, it's not going to happen like just after midday when everyone's, sleepy after lunch. So, making your way to the docks.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Easy enough to spend another 20 minutes or so covering a few blocks, walking your way out there. And you do see out sound of gulls sort of calling out in the distance. There looks to be a couple of tall ships out in the harbor. And just kind of the tail end of the workday, as there's a lot of cargo, and you've sort of walked up and down this main road that kind of goes one block away from the warehouses. So there's like a main road, and there's probably half a block or so, 2 or 3 buildings deep of just big warehouses. And so things come off the ships, they go into the warehouses, and then they go from the warehouses to the rest of the city. Or a lot of them then get repackaged and then shipped back upriver on a different ship up to Chora. That's a very common thing, but this is the main sort of collection port. It's also a teeming fishing industry, so there are sections of the dock that just smell of fish all of the time. And there's a lot of very large seafood cuisine here. So that's kind of a thriving part of all of the restaurants and establishments around here. So going in, you see people finishing up their usual work days. Warehouses are being closed up. And coming in, you do see that there is a fairly ornate and somewhat foreign-looking vessel that is up in one of the docks that is not really like associated with like a particular thing. Grey Pike Consortium has their own like docks that are very sort of standardized and regulated, that they move all of their merchandise with. But this one is at the largest of the main docks there. And the sails are kind of this black and white checkered pattern, and the curve of the hull and everything has a very exotic feel to it. The bow of the ship is kind of tipped in gold plate, and you can see a whole bunch of different people are disembarking from the ship at this point. So it appears it's some sort of passenger vessel.
Tourists. I would very much like to have Emperor Stanmore fly over the area and take a good look for concentrated wisps of the residuum of the
All right, give me we'll call this perception because it's sort of high altitude, looking for something that catches your eye.
And bringing up Emperor Stanmore now.
I love that it's Emperor Stanmore.
It's not just Stanmore, it's Emperor Stanmore. That's the name.
EP.
But,
EP Stan.
If my pass, there's the skill. All right, so here's the roll. It's 22 for Emperor Stanmore, who, of course, would know the city as it's an emperor.
Of course.
His city.
Yeah. So 22 is pretty good. Looking around, the ship itself has kind of, as the water kind of is being, you guess, pumped out at this point, whether they're getting rid of gray water or just sort of bailing the ship a bit. You can see that there is a reasonable sort of outflux of this golden energy, this residuum, from that, more so than other places. So you're guessing maybe that's being done somehow magically, moving the water. Looking around, there's traces of it everywhere that you can see. There are some warehouses that have a seemingly larger concentration of it around them. Most of these look like they are the ones that are a little bit higher security level, like the doors and such aren't open. Things look locked. The buildings look more reinforced. Some of them even look like they have perhaps patrols going around that you can kind of see.
Oh yes, trolls. Yes.
Patrols.
Oh.
It's not a silent P. And with a 22, you also notice that up in the northern area where a tremendous amount of cargo moves in and out and it's not these huge warehouses for long-term storage, it's much smaller warehouses, and so it's like the stuff that just comes in and moves, which is a lot of the Grey Pike stuff, right at the sort of edge of where Grey Pike jurisdiction starts and the rest of the sort of individually owned warehouses. There is a glittering kind of mass of this residuum there, just sort of out in an intersection of the street.
Okay.
Just kind of like a cloud, right? If you would sort of, you know,
Oh, okay.
made a smoke. It's not like a physical mass. It's just sort of like a billowy, like. Usually it's all like down at the ground,
as if it
like
were
a couple.
wisping, as if it were wisping up via wind or something.
Yeah, like if the wind was kind of like swirled it all into like a thing. So it goes up a couple of feet off the ground, and it's a much denser patch of fog, if you will.
I'll have the Emperor land on my shoulder. A piece of cheese,
Give him
and
some cheese,
some bread, and smile and say, "I believe I've located a miasma of concentrated residuum."
Muzz what?
That was a lot of large words, but I trust your judgment.
That's what you should.
on.
I will show you, and we will make our way in that direction. I will also point out, actually very much in character, oh, and there, where the water is moving, here, and point out, well, that's a bit removed from people, though, is it not?
Yes. I mean, there are people disembarking from that ship, but
right, but the effect is removed from them because that's
correct.
coming up, right? Like, so the magic being used to accomplish that task is also a bit noticeable from the air.
All right.
That's just a normal puddle. Don't step in that. Yes, this way.
So heading out in that direction. I'm going to zoom in a little bit here.
I really need to spend some days at the library. I don't have my detect magic ritual.
So, going around, you make your way over to that point. It is you do get a few kind of not threatening, but somewhat quizzical looks by the local sort of longshoremen there that are finishing up their jobs, kind of unyoking the various beasts of burden from the carts and leading them back to the stables, or removed from the shoreline itself. Crates are being kind of stacked up neatly. The roads and walkways and such are being cleared, and some of them just kind of give you a sideways glance as you go by, because I mean, there's no reason to be here, like if you're not a worker, but none of them hassle you, and you find your way towards this area. A couple of small docks extending out, you know, no more than like 40-30 feet, something like that, out from the water. Lots of small boats. Looks like this is maybe a place where fishermen come and go. There's a couple small buildings right up next to the water. One of them looks to be some sort of place where perhaps there's a kind of like a pre-prepping area for, like, you know, scaling the fish and gutting them and stuff, and then they just immediately go off somewhere to be eaten in that area. And then sort of at the end of one of these docks, the dock itself is stacked up with a bunch of fishing nets, is this kind of swirling mass about 15 by 15 or so of denser, I mean, it's not like opaque, it's just a dense kind of swirling mass of this energy.
Turn to the others. I assume you can now see what I saw earlier.
It's quite hard to miss.
Yeah. Cadia, you're a person of the people. Why don't you ask around and see if the missing reports are all focused in this area or not?
Oh, you just want me? I can talk to strangers now.
Well, do rein it in a little bit more than your usual self, but yes.
Okay, and I'm asking about the missing people.
And
Are they
the proximity
workers?
to this area.
Wait, kids can't be workers.
Well, actually, I'm not sure of the current
It is not usual
administrations.
for young children to work the docks. No,
I see.
there are no like official
Shit,
child
what?
labor laws, but like children just aren't efficient at loading and unloading heavy objects, so they're not put to work in that way.
Prime Minister Malaysia bad. Sorry.
That is making several suppositions. Katie, if you're going to ask around, I think probably the best thing to do is just to ask around and see if anybody knows anything about the disappearances, to figure out who they believe has gone missing, and where that happened.
Ooh, can I act like a reporter? Okay, cool. And then I'm just gonna go run up and talk to
Rhea, understanding that she cannot actually stop Katie, just turns to the rest of them and just...
Excuse me, sir, madam. I don't know who I'm talking to because I don't know what I'm seeing right now.
Human man, completely shaven head, looks probably to be in his 50s, kind of unshaven, unkept, short, stubbly beard.
Not to be specific about the beard.
Has tattoos sort of all up and down his arm, definitely of sort of sailor seamanship ilk, wearing a this sort of beige kind of coveralls over a light linen white shirt that looks no longer white, is kind of this kind of off cream green color that your guess is sort of a collection of dirt and not seeing washed often. And as you approach, the smell wafts into your nostrils of someone who has been working hard physically all day, and not too worried about hygiene. So he sort of puts down his box there and sticks his hands into the sort of straps of his coveralls.
I'll take out a pad of paper and an ink quill, because I have those things. And I'm just going to say, excuse me, sir, can I take a moment of your time? My name is Katie Cupiran. And I was just going to ask a few questions about the local disappearances. Have you heard anything of the such?
Yeah, there's been people disappearing around here, around the docks.
I use prestidigitation to go. Oh,
I ain't seen nobody disappear.
But you've heard about it.
Yeah, ain't everybody heard about it.
Do you know, like, is there a specific location in which at the docks they have been disappearing?
No, I heard there wasn't any witnesses, so I reckon nobody knows where they're disappearing. It's kind of the disappearing part of it. Huh?
Well, that's actually pretty smart there, sir. Good observation. I'm very proud of you. Anyway, so...
You exceeded my expectations.
I cannot do this. I can do this. Okay, I'm focusing. So I'm asking you questions because I'm a reporter reporting to that newspaper guy over in the square. Anyway, he said that there are people disappearing, and we heard it from the docks, and you don't know exactly where from the docks. Do you know anything? Any names?
I know lots of names.
Yeah, from like people that have disappeared though.
Oh no, I ain't known anyone who's disappeared. Sometimes I wish when I was working that I'd just disappear and not have to be working. Greg over there, he's also says that he'd like to disappear from work too. But we don't work at night. People disappear at night.
Oh, it's at night. Oh, that's
more,
good. That's
more dangerous at night because you can't see because there's no sun. It's a little bit cooler though.
But the sun is amazing, is it not? It's just
No,
like
it's terribly
it is
hot.
brilliant.
Flecks
But
off
it
the
is
water.
so beautiful.
Great.
Anyway, I really like the sun. So okay, it happens at night. It happens at the dock. No particular
Yeah.
location.
Well, we don't know. It could all happen in the same spot.
Well, that's true, but you don't know.
Right. You don't know either, so you can't say
I don't.
that.
That's why I'm asking questions.
Right.
Do you know any of your friends that know any more information?
I mean,
Do you know any night workers?
ain't nobody that works at night. It's a good way to get yourself in trouble with the union.
Oh, union. I didn't know there was a dock union. That's interesting. Do you know the head of the dock union?
I mean, all longshoremen know the head of the dock union.
Do you know a name? Their
Yeah.
address, maybe. Where they live.
That's
Social security number.
specific. I
Maybe
mean,
they know something we don't. You know, union, like, they like to keep secrets and stuff, so.
I mean, Rosales, he's frequently up at the Grey Pack building.
Versailles.
Right. I mean, you
That
got
sounds
union business? You looking to get into the crate moving business? Fishing?
Oh, no. Fish is, like, okay to me, but, like, I really like plants and vegetables. They are amazing.
So, like, seaweed.
Sure, seaweed. I don't think I've ever had No, I've had seaweed. Yeah, seaweed. Great stuff. But boats make me so seasick, you have no idea.
Well, you'd be working on a dock if you're part of the Longshore Union.
Well, Longshore Union. Oh, that's a good... You are just giving me so much information.
No, that's what I am. I am a longshoreman.
Longshore Union.
Nope.
I
Actually,
am writing
yes.
that down. Yes, I'll take that. That's good information for my friends over there. Okay, so Versailles, which sounds familiar to me, but I can't place it. Maybe I'm mixing it up with something else. You wouldn't know that because that's in my head and not in your head. Anyway.
Well, you would think that, but it's actually wrong because I just heard it.
Well, now it's in your head. It wasn't in your head before.
Gridge, you know anything about the disappearances?
Great.
This young lady is keen on seaweed and I think she's had a little bit too much.
Oh, I haven't had any today.
I mean, do you want some? I saw some just sort of like looks over the edge of the dock. And then,
Raw?
I mean, what, you cook your seaweed?
Isn't there like some sort of process? It's got to be at least washed or something, right?
It's in the ocean.
Yeah, with sea salt.
Gridge, get your scrawny butt over here.
What's happening?
It's very, very, very tall, sort of well sun-worn, skinned man comes over. His hair is a little bit spindly, kind of starting to recede back. A little bald spot on the top of his head. Just kind of stringy, hangs down over his ears. Has a couple like little pinpricks of a beard growing, but not much. Definitely a lot younger. He comes over and sort of looks at you with the intensity of a squirrel at an acorn right before hibernation time, and then just sort of breathes in. Yeah.
Don't be scared. I'm just gonna ask a question or two. Anyway, so I'm Katie Akir Farron, and I'm just reporting on the disappearance. Pleasure. Thank you. Anyway, yes. Okay, so, the disappearances. Your friend over here says they happen at night.
Yep.
Have you seen anyone disappear? That doesn't count. Second question. Do you work at night?
No, I
'Cause that's
ain't
against
worked at
union.
night. Right.
I knew that.
Are you
Knew
with
that.
the union?
Nope. Nope.
Are we supposed to be working now?
Don't worry, I'm not going to tell anybody. Anyway.
You're a reporter.
Yeah, but it's off the record.
Oh, good. Well, speaking off the record, it's been mighty hot out here recently, and I would love to work at night, but it's right too dangerous, and I guess people disappear at night, and they don't want their workers disappearing, so... Yeah, maybe the day is better. I'll go on the record and say I like the day for working.
Great. I'll put that down. So have you known any of the people that have disappeared? Is anyone that used to be in your life recently no longer in your life because they're disappeared?
My wife just left me. She just up and went. She said life was gonna be better in Chora. I send her fish upriver.
Why?
Well, she needs fish to support herself.
But, okay. Well, that's interesting.
Trying to balance the scales.
Has anyone from the union disappeared?
There was a worker, yeah. I mean, people disappear, leave the job. I don't know if they're, up and gone into the Netherverse, but, I would say that, yeah, there was, what was McLeach? He was, that was maybe a month ago. Yeah, he was closing up and, did a proper job of it except for one door. It was just there and they found his keys on the ground. They were kind of all bent and mangled though. Fish ain't for you, cat.
Oh, Kitty wants a fish.
Kitty can't eat a whole fish.
Sure they can.
No, they're allergic to the scales.
I don't know if that's true or not.
I don't know if it's false.
What about, do you know any fishermen? Have any boats disappeared?
How would a boat just... I guess it could sink. I ain't looked in the bottom of the harbor recently. I can check if you want.
No. I mean, like... how do I explain this without sounding like I'm on drugs?
Do you want some of those?
Oh! Do you have some?
Well, you're not with the union, right?
Nope.
I don't believe you. Don't have any drugs.
Do I look like someone who is a fisherman's union?
I mean, if the union were gonna send somebody down here to spy on us, they'd be right pretty like you and get us all distracted.
What's the god or goddess you worship?
Selune?
I swear to Selune that I am not a union member.
Alright. Well, you really should be. It's a good union. They take good care of us.
Look, okay, here's a confession. I'm not really a reporter. I am a
What?
kid.
You just sweared you were... I ain't gonna believe anything you say now.
Well, I'm from the Sierra Harmony Hall. You should come see us sometime. We're great.
I ain't got money for that kind of frivolity.
Well, have you ever been to Marauder Square? Because it's like pretty similar.
Marauder Square.
Isn't that what it's
I love the fact that Tibara's voice just arises from an empty screen.
I thought Marauder Square got shut down after the knifing.
All the Marauders.
Listen, I mean, I can show you the building's right over here.
The building of drugs?
You're
Or
upsetting
what am
the
I talking
cats.
about? I'm sorry.
You should really just give
Sorry,
that cat a
kitty.
fish.
Yeah, just give him a fish.
I don't think he needs a fish.
You know,
Need
that
a
kind of
fish?
song, but
You don't need a fish.
I lean over to Doran and I'm like, how long are we gonna let her do this?
So she sinks or swims.
So it's right. The door is over there, and he sort of points back to the intersection.
What's the door for?
It's you go through it to get to the interior of the building.
What location? Where are you taking me?
Well, right here to the door. They found the keys sort of out in the street right over there.
Oh, I'm taking keys. Okay, great. Evidence.
No, they're not there anymore. That's where they found them. As he points over to the street, he points into like the morass of golden energy.
I turn to the rest of the party. I assume we were quite a bit away. Well, she has been having this conversation for such a long time. She must have found out lots of useful information. We should go over and find out what she's found.
Well,
Yes, I'm certain that this has covered everything. I mean, what more could there be to learn?
I think they're gesturing toward the energy right now. Clearly, she's onto something important.
What is everyone's passive perception at this moment?
15.
Something. 14.
10.
14.
And minus 13. I don't know if you need that or not.
Minus 13.
All right.
Negative 13, yes.
So you're kind of at dusk now. The sun is beginning to set, and there are very long shadows being cast across the ground from this as the area starts to get dark. That's all any of you notice.
All right, so this is where the keys have, I'm sorry, I was distracted by drugs. So this is where the keys were found. That is great information.
Yep. I mean, they're not there now. We needed to... Well, we went back to the locksmith. They had to be completely replaced. It's like something bent and mangled them all.
Oh, what sort of thing? Like a...
something strong.
All right. Do you know who took those? Was it like the city guard or?
No, it was the foreman.
Oh, the foreman. What's his name?
Bill?
Bill Foreman.
Foreman Bill.
That's his name.
Is he part of the union?
Yeah, he's a longshoreman.
A longshoreman?
Yeah.
Okay.
Bill Foreman, the longshoreman.
Thank you, Jim.
His name is not Foreman. He is the foreman. That's his job title.
Some people's last names are their occupation. Butcher, Cooper, candlestick maker.
That was the name of my last name of my best friend in high school.
This is Katia, irrelevant conversation haveler.
Katia Glib, if you will.
That's great. Maybe I'll give myself a nickname like Danger over there. Anyway, okay, so that's all great information. And you know nothing about a lost boat.
Did we lose a boat? I can check for you. Like it sank.
Well,
you can't have that at the bottom of the harbor. It'll just collect, and other boats will get lost on top of it.
That's not really what I mean. Like some man that went disappeared, like brought a boat through the city.
I heard there were men that disappeared. Yeah.
Yeah, someone that disappeared, like brought their boat down with them or something.
Oh.
I don't know. So I was just curious.
He sort of like turns, like they both, as you say that, they both turn so that they're like facing away from you down towards, just sort of out into the harbor towards the ocean. They both kind of like go like this, and they turn back towards you.
Is that a culture thing?
Well, you said he was lost to the ocean.
No, exactly. That's okay. I really can't explain it in a way that you'd understand, I don't think. So I'm gonna go back and tell my friend. You're not working though, right? Right. Okay.
We were. It's almost
okay.
Dusk here.
You keep working. I'm gonna go talk to my friends. Thank you very much for your time.
You be careful. It's starting to get dark here. There's disappearances around in the docks after dark.
Yes, as you and your friend told me, so you be safe as well. Thank you so much for your time. And maybe I'll talk to you in a few minutes. Bye-bye.
Stay here.
Stay. Stay. And I'll turn around and I'll go and relay all my information as scattered as it was collected is the way that you receive it.
By this time, it is dark, as the sun has almost completely set. There's still like enough light over, but the sun is no longer visible. The two longshoremen there have such stacked up their crates, sealed up a couple of them. The last thing they did was kind of hammer some things in the top. You see Danger come back, and she's holding kind of a fairly large burlap bag that's just been cinched up. She has it just sitting over her shoulder.
I'm gonna look at the bag, and I'm gonna think, you know what? Don't want to know what's in the bag. I'm just gonna ignore it.
Katie, did you get a name for somebody missing?
McLedge, Malog, something.
McLedge.
Well, Danger, does that name any even remotely match maybe somebody you are assisting?
McLedge? That is the dumbest name I have ever heard. Is that some sort of roofer name?
I don't know. It was like a month ago. That's the only.
Whoa! What are you all doing around this? That's not good.
Oh, that's where the keys were found. Mangled keys, by the way. Mangled by something.
Yeah, by something that's and she kind of like stops and takes the sack off her shoulder and lowers it down. And she just starts like looking around. She's almost sort of like a cat who's kind of like perked up. And she just sort of lowers the bag down to the ground and just kind of looks around. And there's kind of like a quietness that falls over, seeing her usual casual nonchalance turn into like this very kind of like creature on the edge type thing as she just looks around. Yeah.
I'm gonna look around as well. Do I see anything?
Make some perception rolls, please.
I don't. That was a 7.
Is that for the party?
That was for me.
Okay.
If anyone else is actively looking around, you can make an active perception roll.
I would like to use my bird to do that. You know, Emperor Stanmore.
All right. Yep. So Bird is up and looking around. Is anyone else looking around in this moment?
Nope.
Oh, nope, that's initiative. That's not. Oh, it was such a good roll, too. Dang it.
I'm playing with.
This is going to be low.
Again.
Of course it is.
All right. Yeah. The cats are restless as such. You can sort of see on the map the morass of yellowness. So you were having your conversation over up on this dock here. Can you guys see the map?
Mm-hmm.
So this is the morass of darkness, or not of darkness, of wrong campaign, of golden happiness.
The duality of a...
So if you want to drag yourselves to the map, just in case.
Just in case.
So, your bird goes up. Give me a perception roll for the bird.
The bird did roll. Unfortunately, it was an 11.
Okay. So, what would you all like to do? As you all look around, nobody seems to have seen anything. I don't have a Oh, I don't have all my tokens in this either. I don't have a token for danger at the moment.
I don't have a token for the birds.
Yeah, we will remedy this, but not this moment. So, the buildings here are just sort of, the sun's setting over over kind of like the tops of these buildings, and the long shadows are getting cast out. And as you're all sort of turning, none of you standing in between the well laid out stone lines in the pavement delineating the 5-foot squares of dock laid out. You all suddenly orient to them there, and as you send up the bird, just sort of looking around there,
Nevermore.
the anyone who has a passive that's sort of in the 14-15 range, you do hear in the slightest of instance this slight sort of like tapping and then this kind of like popping noise, and then you see a shimmering back behind Doran, and then you see this large insectoid like creature just sort of form out of this shimmering energy behind him, and the giant front appendages are both these huge spikes, has a large sort of extended out maw with very, very spiny teeth, as it forms in and just lunges right in behind Doran. And that's where we're going to take our break now.
Make a new character.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, you went to the docks after dark.
That's the name of this episode. Docks
After dark. The Marauder Club, or Marauder Square.
Marauder Square.
I was like, is that a place?
Oh my god, I was already cringing down here. And she said, yeah, Marauder Square.
I couldn't remember Modstein.
Oh my god, is it a velociraptor? What is this?
It was not a
Raptor?
Velociraptor. All right, so
I hear they just
take
go.
5 or 10,
I wish this
5
would
to
just
10-ish, and we will be back and see what we will see.
Nope, she's weird.
See you in a little bit. Oh, that's not the splash screen. That's not the right one either. This is the right one. We are back for ice cream and dessert ASMR. Welcome.
It's Haley, not Kaylee.
Yep, that is her name, but you can just call her Danger. Cool.
Haley.
So we have a bit of a shindig rim, and with everybody on the map, let's get the order of the turns up. Let me get my stat block up. Can I like... what does it do if I show this to you?
No. What, we're initiating? Okay.
I mean, I presume so, since there's a velociraptor on the map.
Oh.
I just want to show you what it looks like, but I don't know if this is going to show you like its stat or whatever. We'll just do it.
Oh, I hate that. Put that back.
Yeah, you can ignore the text because it's reskinned, but this is just what it looks like. Yeah.
Oh my god, my cat is snoring so loud, it's adorable.
These things come up to maybe about hip level. There.
My dex is 11. What's yours, Cookie?
My dex is 14.
I'm not sure if this is a hormigaunt or a termagant.
It is neither of those things.
It might be both.
Put your mind at
No.
ease. Okay. Organize this in descending order.
I really like the miasma of energy that's swirling around in spaghetti-like fashion.
Yeah, it's a good thing. It is very much like a Zergling. I will say that is probably a very accurate representation. Is not a word. Representation. I was trying to speak, but I had ice cream in my mouth that like numbed my tongue, so I couldn't actually say something. Diagonally.
Aha, right.
Oh, nice.
This is your battle music all the time now.
I like it.
You're like the Incredibles or something. Only not that.
It's totally that.
Still
Alright,
doing the Mission Impossible.
Since none of you saw it, it's going to get the first round and you will all be considered surprised. As it jumps out, lurching forward, you do see that its appendages are literally just stabby bits. So as it does this, it is going to take a stab at you, Doran. And you don't even see this coming.
So I have 0 reactions, is that correct?
Correct. Yes, you are surprised. Well, because you're watching through. You're up in the bird right now, right?
Actually, I was using the bird's own perception.
Okay, so the bird. So you're not like tranced out.
No, I would just be getting the messages like, "Hey, boss," and other.
What did you roll
like,
for initiative?
master
No,
slave.
yeah. With that initiative, I won't be nice and give you a. There. All right. It's not going to be too bad. That's fine. I mean, it stands to reckon. It did get the jump on you. Alright, let's see what the damage is.
Holy.
Oh.
Whew. So 9 points of piercing damage as its spine just goes straight through you. And as it comes through the other side, you guys hear Doran Geos just cry out. And as you can see, like some blood sort of come up through his mouth. It's sticking through. It sort of goes through and turns somewhat into a very, very concentrated version of this sort of yellow energy, and then pulls back like almost instantly. Like there was no resistance to how this thing stabbed through it. And you all sort of adjust your eyes a little bit from this shimmer and kind of like focusing and unfocusing, almost like looking at like a magic eye. You do see other shimmering kind of areas around in here.
Shimmy, shimmy, Cocoa Puff. Is that the world?
Jimmy Rock.
as you do see 4 other of them, three of them sort of like look up at all of you, and you can tell the 3 that are there, the one right here is almost double the size of all of the other ones there. And the ones around that big swirling cloud of energy all seem to be kind of like siphoning it in through their maws, as like they're gorging themselves on this.
Oh, they're feeding on it.
So I need to roll one more thing onto the initiative order here. There are multiple stat blocks. Yeah, it looks like one large one and then a bunch of small, like, kid ones.
AP ones.
All right.
Message for you, sir. Now, because we had leveled, I have an abjuration field that has 7 temporary hit point-ish, hit points. But 2 did pierce through me.
Okay,
and,
cool.
Doran had issues with that.
Good to know. All right, so now we will begin the full round. And you can see that these 3 are feeding. There is one that seems like it's just over in the boat. And as that one like is the last to catch your eye, it was just like sort of running back and forth in the boat, kind of playing. Ziliana, you're up.
Does your abjuration field, does it make like when it's hit, does it make like a visual thing?
I can only imagine it be Borg-like, so when you touch it, the field just shows up.
Okay, all right.
But upon any good inspection, it also shows up. It's not labeled as subtle, so therefore it's not subtle. It's just,
It just is what it is.
All right. But basically, it looks like the hit that you took wasn't as big as it should have been.
Well, if there's no resistance, it's really hard to say, because that thing came through my entire torso somehow. So, yeah, this is all kinds of a little bizarre.
Okay. All right. I am going to produce flame and cast it on the one that just attacked Doran.
All right, make an attack roll for me. $21 will definitely hit.
For 3 points of juicy fire damage.
All right. Has been accounted for. It impacts into it, and you see as you let it go, you can see again a little bit of this gold sort of residuum falling from your spell.
Okay, I'm gonna move over 1 slot over here.
All right.
Kind of cowering behind Gruthgall, but not really.
Only minor cowering.
Yeah, minor, just minor
you're
cowering.
up.
I am going to point at one of those creatures and true strike.
Which one?
This one.
Okay. So what does it need to do?
I just point a finger at the target and I get brief insight into the defenses.
Does it
And
have
then
a
I
save
gain
or... you looked at it here.
advantage.
Okay. Looking at it, the brief insight that you get is that it does look like it has kind of like a chitin armor plating around it. And you kind of look at how the plates are structured and can kind of tell that maybe there's a way to,
If
go
there's like
around
a specific spot that I could point out to where to hit it, I would yell that out.
Okay.
And then I would like to bonus action, inspiration, growth call, and I'll just sing out, lift them all above your head, crash it down and kill him dead.
Very nice.
You're inspired. I
Great.
hope.
You're inspired. You have no choice.
All right. Any movement?
Oh, get out the way thing. I will
Move thing.
move back this
Get
way.
out the way.
All right. We're gonna zoom out just a little bit. Ooh, all right. It is now the young creature's turns. The one behind you, Doran, is going to lunge in for another stabby stab attack. Alright, does a 14 hit you?
Yes, it will. However, with no points left on my shield, or I'm sorry, with my no points left in my abjuration barrier, I'm going to use the shield spell and give myself 5 to my 14 AC. It will be a 19 temporary.
Excellent.
Until the start of my next turn.
Very good.
Also, that regenerates 2 points of my shield because of abjuration.
Alright. The next one is going to move through, and you can see instead of like running like you would imagine, the creature kind of just like dives in and almost like burrows and swims through this cloud of this energy. And then sort of, and as it does that, it looks like its form kind of phases out a little bit and then comes back in. That one is going to attack you, Gruthkul, and
Okey-dokey.
this will be at advantage as it has pack tactics.
Cheating. I see.
Does a 21
That
hit?
will hit.
Alright. Good damage roll. So that's 7 points of piercing to you. Next one is going to run up towards you, Rhea, and will attack with advantage as well. 20 to hit.
Yeah, 20 will hit.
Alright. Alright. 5 points of piercing to you. And the last one sort of has stopped, and you can see the boat is like rocking as this thing has kind of moved back and forth. And it goes to leap out onto the dock, but the boat just sort of like pushes out from underneath it, and it just splashes into the water right there. Notably, you don't see much of this residuum there, and the creature just goes underwater.
It tried. An attempt was made.
Alright. Rhea, you are up.
Alright, so Rhea looks around, kind of assessing the creatures in front of her, not looking particularly happy about it, and she keeps like glancing back over her shoulder, like clearly very worried about the Doran situation. And sure, it seems like her attention is split, most of it going towards Doran, and then you see something start to take shape on the other side of the creature. And it starts with just like this kind of faint glowing, and the glowing becomes stronger and stronger until it takes on the form of a person. Oh. And suddenly Rhea is standing on the other side of this creature, except that it is obviously like she looks very different, this version of her. And she's this version of her, like her hair is white, and she's wearing this kind of very ornate, like enameled blue and silver armor. And it almost like her eyes are completely black, except that the pupils are like almost like blue flame. And this other version of her is going to draw a rapier and is going to, so that was my bonus action that I'm expending to summon my reflection. And then I am going to draw my rapier, and I'm gonna, with my reflection, attack the creature.
All right. This will be at advantage.
It sure will. And she also, the other Rhea, the normal-looking Rhea, looks just as surprised by this as all of you. It's an 18.
18 will hit.
Alrighty. Oof, 11 points of piercing damage.
All right, and that one, you are able to sort of catch it off guard and just stab in back between two sort of shoulder chitin plates and goes through its neck and kind of comes back out as the creature spasms and then kind of writhes on the ground, almost kind of like seizure-esque, and very disturbingly is just torn apart, and where it is just another blob of this sort of energy there. Like a fairly high concentration of it. Like a little... Its body is gone, and there is this golden energy there now. Alright. Anything else? Movement?
That's my action and my bonus action.
Hence my inquiry about your movement decisions.
My movement decisions, I think I'm just gonna have to stay where these things are because I don't fancy 2 attacks of opportunity.
Okay. Brusco, you're up.
I'm gonna start swinging the old maul.
Alright.
22.
22 will... What's your target?
This one beneath me here.
Okay. That will hit.
11 points of damage.
Excellent. And that one is crushed again in the same form. Again, just adding to this cloud of golden energy. Almost as if in destroying its sort of physical form, it's just releasing all of this energy. Any movement?
Yes, I'm gonna step to here.
Okay.
And no bonus action for me. I'm not gonna do anything. I'm fine. Alright, that's me.
Okay. It is the adult's turn.
Oh, adult.
It is going to turn, and it has basically the same physiology, just a mite bit larger, and it is going to make 2 stab attacks at you as its front appendages come in. Goes. So here's the first one, and this is...
sorry, who's it going for?
You.
Okay.
This is at you, not with advantage, so... first one is a 12.
Nope.
And the second one is a 12.
Oh.
So in your sort of sidestepping,
There's the exact same rolls both times.
moving there, not able to connect. And that will do it for its turn. Doran, you are up.
Doran turns around and says, "Thank you, alternative Rhea."
This version of Rhea is like entirely emotionless, but she does kind of give you a nod.
I don't know what to make of this, and I run away.
That's fair.
But then I stop, seeing what's in front of me. And I have 1 slot left. I'm gonna do it. Color spray! Now, the good thing about a little
All right.
cone is that it goes 1 square, 2 squares, 3 squares, right? So I can do 1, 2 squares, and then 3 squares. Yep.
Yep.
Excellent. I would like
Geometry.
those 2 to make... actually, there's no... This is just the only thing I can do. 34 hit points of whatever this is now blind.
All right.
If any.
A dazzling array, flashing colored light springs forward from your hand. It's like sleep, but it makes blind, right?
Yeah, it's actually not like sleep at all. It's the only mechanics the same is that I roll to see who's affected. But yes, it's blindness,
So wait, starting,
which is nice for
starting at the
advantage
creature that has the
attacks
lowest
and-
current hit points.
Yeah.
And then I deduct that from the total.
Right, and then if there's enough, it gets more than 1.
Okay, so this one looks up at you as you run up, and it just like, you can see its eyes go wide, and sort of this dust of goldness drifts down from all of it, but you can see its eyes are just sort of like this weird kaleidoscope of colors as it sort of looking around, and it definitely looks blinded. The other one looks blinded for a moment, but then just sort of like turns up and looks at you.
And that was my last first level spell of the day. And so, with that, my shield has gone off. But since they're not both blinded, I can't continue where I wanted to go. I end up back there.
Okay. Ziliana, you are up.
Do something, Ziliana. Do something now.
Okay, this is happening. I turn into an elk.
What? No, don't do this.
Do something. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Oh, no. Wait.
It's
Oh,
happening.
it doesn't have a thing?
I've never done this before.
It was an elk noise, if you don't mind, Cookie.
I like the little man.
Wow.
Why did none of the elks have, I thought they used to have it. Didn't we have a good token for an elk?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Is an elk a large-sized creature?
Yeah. Actually, no.
Giant
Just
elk.
a giant elk is large.
It says large beast.
Okay.
Yeah, a giant elk is huge.
Oh, right. That's the difference. Yeah. Good.
I don't have a,
Perfect.
I don't have a token at the moment.
No. Isn't a large creature still a single square?
No,
A giant. A giant elk
Medium is 1, large is 2,
Oh, and
huge is
huge
three.
is 3.
okay. Okay. All right. That's.
Okay.
I have the sheet. It just doesn't have a.
And colossal is 4 to 8.
40.
Colossal is when you know you've made a mistake.
You see this
Yeah.
dragon right here? I don't know if you can see it on the stream.
Oh, we can see it. Oh, actually, I don't know if we can see it on the stream.
This dragon here would be 8 squares big.
Alright, so ramming.
I'm going to ram attack.
Okay.
The adult right there.
For real. Oh, wait.
Alright.
And-
23 will hit.
With 7 points of damage.
Alright.
So I like rear up and like bring my hooves down, and it's not super graceful, but it works.
Easy enough.
And like she's just kind of like like just.
Oh my god, she's cut loose. Loose.
Moose. Cut moose.
Mm-hmm.
Put on your Sunday boots.
And I think I also come very close to maybe kicking Doran in the face. Like I don't, but like these limbs are new, so.
I will go Matrix to go ahead and dodge that. I'll be like, no.
Yeah, well, with the 23, I don't think I hit you. It's not
All
like
right.
a natural 1 where I hit Beth that one time.
Okay. On
Golden Fire.
Oh wait.
On
I think
Golden
is this
Cloud.
the one I attacked before? The one in the middle?
Yes, the big one.
Okay. I will magic stone it with my magic stones.
Alright, so bonus action.
Well, I've
magic
I
stone.
have 2 left over from our last little making.
How long do they last?
Until you make more,
Okay.
I think.
Cool. You have them.
There's only another way to find out.
Yeah.
Oh wait, no. Hold on. Question, actually, because
Yes.
hold on. Let me just link it.
Question, hold on.
Because I just see it. It says 1 minute, but it says at the bottom.
So if its duration is 1 minute, if you cast the spell again, the spell ends early on any. So if you have like 2 pebbles and then you pick up 3 pebbles and you cast it on 3 pebbles.
Okay, so I don't have it.
So you don't have it, but you
Okay.
can cast it as a bonus action and make an attack.
You also have
As an
normal
action.
rocks if you just care about it.
Yeah.
No, I don't want
So
the rocks.
the rocks that you had are no longer magic stones,
Okay.
but you can bonus action to make them an attack anyway, right?
Instead, I will.
You can still attack like that, but you're gonna have to use your bonus action to cast magic stone and then your action to attack with it.
Oh, well, yeah, sure, I'll do that.
Yeah.
Because I have those stones still. Yeah, sure. Okay, we'll do that.
That's why they made it a bonus action in the spell, so that you could cast it and then attack at the same time.
And throw.
Well,
All right.
there goes that.
You hit the elk.
Roll for damage, please.
It is a 1.
Where are
No,
you?
that was
You
a
hit
1d6.
Rhea.
You need to roll the
Oh.
hit.
Oh.
Yeah, you gotta make an attack roll first. A ranged attack roll. And this would be at advantage, right? Because you are. And
'Cause
this
I hit it before.
should have your spell, or should have your dexterity. Do you have a dexterity modifier?
No.
Plus your spellcasting ability.
Well, 18 plus
Something.
something.
Okay,
I can just
that
cast
that
it.
will
That'll
that will
make it
just
better.
hit. Oh, there we go.
Plus 3. That's what it was.
Yeah, why didn't you just use that?
Because I don't know.
All right, so
I have no answers.
That I will be nice and use the 18 because it's at advantage anyway. So 18 just barely hits, and it will do 2 points of bludgeoning damage to this thing as you just kind of like bounce a rock off of the top of its head. Sort of wheels around back at you, and then looks back towards Gruthkol. All right. Anything else? Movement?
Nope.
No, stop showing this.
What are you
I
doing?
don't know why I did that. All right. So the adult in the middle lets out this like screeching sound, and you hear the two others that are the one in the water makes sort of a garbled screeching noise, and then the blind one screeches back. But you all hear two other little screechy noises as two more seem to now be bursting out of the building back behind as they shatter through a window, screeching, and that is their movement and action as they've been called in. This one is going to lash out at anything near it, which will be at disadvantage, but then advantage from pack tactics, so this is just a normal attack against you, Rhea. So normal stab. 9.
Nope.
As it kind of just flails out, and the little swimmy one will use its
22 though.
its dash
So
action.
the blindness worked.
Yeah, the blindness definitely paid off. Will continue using its dash action to get. We'll go to the end of the dock here. Down below you. Rhea, you are up.
Alright. So I'm gonna expend my movement from my reflection to move 5, 10, 15. And then I will attack with my own rapier as myself on the adult.
Okay. You have
So
advantage.
At advantage. 18.
18 will just barely hit it.
I will take just barely. It is good enough for me. 10 points of piercing damage.
Very nice.
Nice.
That was a
the
max
Rhea's
roll and
doing
an almost
great.
max.
It stabs in, finds some soft flesh between the armor plating on it. It's pretty heavily armored, but doesn't appear to be slowing you guys down too much.
And I will yank my rapier back out, and I will look back at this strange version of myself that I have somehow summoned and look uncomfortable and end my turn.
Alright. Gruthkol, you are up.
Yours like so
Okay.
guys related or
So, sort of looking back over my shoulder, seeing the two more friends coming out to play. Gonna focus and use my. Why can I not open up my character sheet?
user error is why.
No, not this time. Hold on.
Roll deception.
So, alright, you know when you minimize, right? To the top, I'm double clicking it, and it's just like opening a thing saying edit.
Oh.
Just close it and open it
I'm
again.
just refreshing really quick. I'm okay.
Bob makes us in the chair in the keyboard.
I will be casting this. It's my bonus action.
Shield of Faith. Please denote that.
I'll denote this.
As well as concentration.
Yes. Let's go with...
And who are you casting it on?
Myself.
Okay.
We'll go with this and this.
Sounds good.
And then I will make an attack with advantage against this friend.
Alright. Not your friend.
18.
18 will just barely hit again.
Perfect.
We just really like the number 18.
12 points of damage.
Woof!
Smash it, smash it.
Grief. Alright.
That's it.
It is not looking great at the moment.
Trying to think. Alright, no, I think at advantage regardless. Okay, yeah, that's it.
Okay. It is now its turn. This thing getting pelted from all sides is going to, seeing the other two coming back behind, is going to wheel about and go after Rhea here, as it seems like it's being protective of the blinded one next to it. And this will be at advantage. It's going to make 2 stab attacks against you. First one. Does a 16 hit you?
A 16 does not hit me.
Does
Oof.
a 12 hit you?
A 12 does not hit me.
It unfortunately
But
cannot
combined
roll
them,
very
they
well.
will.
Yes. Does a
If you combine them, they
hit
will.
you? Yes. Alright.
Thank God for survivor's will.
And it will, I guess, stay where it is and end its turn. Not connecting. Snapping and stabbing. Dorngios, you're up.
Doran, out of first level spells, is going to go. It's cantrips now. Blindness, by the way, goes away at the end of my turn and has no more effect on the battle because I am not doing something that requires that. I am, however, going to put a fire on top of the big one. Bonfire, that's the kind.
Okay.
The dexterity saving throw is dexterity DC 13.
Coming at you. 10, so it fails.
Then I will roll this. Take this damage. Max.
Alright.
And stay there and take more.
It screeches out, taking the fire damage. Definitely looking in very bad shape, thrashing around.
I'm going to use orange. Man. Doran, however, also notices that he's in a good spot. So he's like, he whispers at other Rhea, "Hey, other Rhea, don't know. This is good."
The other Rhea continues to look, just kind of stare at you with her slightly unearthly eyes and nod slowly. She's also like, she is glowing brightly. She is shedding, let's see. She is shedding bright light in a 20-foot radius and dim light for an additional 20 feet.
But I'm not looking
So when I
directly
say
at
she's
her.
glowing, she's like glowing.
Yeah, that's
my
blinding.
eyes.
That's better than my freaking spell. All right. Well. Anyway, Doran is happy where he is. Tugs on her shoulder. Don't leave. And he's done.
So, Yana.
All right. Well, a fire was put right in front of me, and that scared me. So I think I'm going to move and run over here. Hang on.
Mind you, the thing below the fire's not dead. Just be aware.
I know, but I can't.
Is.
Oh, I guess I do
No,
have a
it's not
5-foot
dead yet.
reach. Huh?
It
Like,
is
I
not
And
dead
it also,
yet.
it doesn't affect you because you're not in its square.
Yeah, you're not in the fire.
I know, but I was gonna attack the adult and then. Okay.
Still-
So, but
still-
I've got 5-foot reach with Ram. So I'll do that again. Let's do it.
Alright. 10 unfortunately will not hit the thrashing
not do
creature
it.
as you sort of go in and then like.
I know, like ah.
It's a little tentative with the fire there.
Yeah. I'm gonna stay there. That's my turn.
All right, Kadia, you do see this creature.
Good moose.
Doggy paddling with its little things over towards you, and the others are fighting down below.
Yes.
So it's like a level below me in the water.
The dock
Number
is
one moose. Yes.
You get the sense that it would not be very difficult for this thing to like thrash out and get you. It is slightly below you, but it is not 5 feet below you.
It's within melee range.
It is within melee range. You can tell it's looking like it's gonna like just come out of the water and attack you.
I'm gonna turn around and rapier attack it.
Okay.
I imagine you twirl too, right?
I do twirl.
All right.
Twirly.
22 natural 20 will hit.
Okay.
All right. It sort of screeches up at you, and as it does, you're just like, and you just stick the rapier down into its throat. And it is not dead, but it is not alive for very much longer. Anything else?
You don't know.
I will provoke. Yes.
I don't know. If you move, yes.
Okay. Then no. I will stay.
All right. This one beside you, Kadia, is thrashing around, and as you stab in and start to pull your arm out, you can feel it going to close its jaws around you, and it's going to try to grapple you and bite down on your hand. So this is going to be a contested strength versus either dexterity acrobatics or strength athletics. You can pick which one you want. So either acrobatics or athletics, contested with its strength. Here comes the strength. It's only a little one, but we will see. 4. So not able to clamp down onto you. And that will do it for its turn. As it just sort of tries to pull off and manages to remove the sword from its mouth. These ones are going to bloop, bloop in towards you, Gruthkal. And these will be 2 stab attacks at advantage. First one is a 19.
The second one just about hits me.
Well, there's only one there so far. So 19 hits.
Oh, sorry, I wrote the strength check as an attack. Yeah, first one hits.
24
second one
on
hits.
the second one. Okay, so 2 hits. So first one is 6 points of piercing damage. And then the second one is another 6, so 12 points of damage there.
Alright, so using my relentless endurance, I am at 1 HP. I need to make 2 concentration.
Aren't you at 13 hit points though?
Oh yes, no, I'm at 1 HP.
You're
without
at 1
relentless endurance.
Yeah.
And I'll make 2 concentration checks.
Yeah.
For Shield of Faith. Make the first, make the second.
Nice. Keeping it up. Rhea, you are up.
Alright. My reflection is going to stay where it is, and mechanically this doesn't do anything, but like in accordance with what Doran requested, she is going to take up like kind of a defensive position. Mechanically, I can't do anything, but that's what she's doing. And then I'm going to, with my rapier, attack the adult at advantage.
At advantage.
Oh, 15.
Yeah, it's sort of is hyper keen aware now, and it as you stab it, it just turns one of its plates towards you, and your rapier just kind of glances off of it.
Unfortunate. Okay. That's my turn.
Right. Gruthkal, you are up.
Okay, I'm gonna turn and start dealing with these. So I'm gonna go for This bottom one here. 21.
Will hit the bottom one.
9 points of damage.
9 is just enough as you crush that one in, just slamming its skull in. And the second it kind of impacts, it just sort of turns into this cloud of gold.
Okay. So, grow up master, give me an extra attack.
All right.
Gonna go ahead and hit this one this time.
All right. Attack.
Is that on a kill?
Yes.
Nice.
Killer or crit. 14 for that.
You strike in, but your strike is not really hard enough to do any damage. It just sort of glances into the side of it.
Okay, that's
Does
fine.
not hit.
I'm going
Okay.
to I'm just gonna stay where I am. Just give the advantage, so that's it.
Alright. The adult is going to lash out at you, Gruthcall, as it's sort of just flailing around here and seems like it doesn't think Rhea's a threat anymore. And it will make 2 stab attacks at advantage.
I like how we have that insight. Oh, it's being condescending. Look out.
Does not hit.
11 and a 22.
Full hit.
Alright, so 4 points of piercing
Okay,
damage.
so now Relentless Endurance triggers.
Alright.
I'm a 1 HP still. I need to make a concentration check.
Yeah.
And my Shield of Faith has dropped.
But you've lost your face.
Alright.
Didn't take much.
And this one is going to instinctually kind of leap out of the fire, which will provoke from you, Rhea.
At advantage, correct? So.
Yes.
From the square left. Yeah.
Please.
Ooh.
Oh, thank you,
24 will hit.
24. Oh, 11 points of piercing damage.
Alright, and that is more than enough as it kind of stumbles and trips its way, like, obviously not happy in the fire. You're able to get at the softer underbelly of it and put it down. And you have a high passive, right? And
I have a... Who, me? Or...
Yes.
14.
And Ziliana does as well, and you're both right there. As you see it falling to the ground, this one takes like a little bit longer to kind of dissolve in as it's a much larger creature. You can see it kind of like trying to, drag its body across, and it looks like it's trying to ingest some of this gold dust, like desperately. But it does
seem like it's...
It isn't able to kind of like get it back, absorb any of it like you kind of saw them originally doing. But it was like as its last dying thing, that's what it was trying to do. And then it eventually kind of unforms and feeds back into this cloud. Right. Doran, you are up.
Doran, pleased that the fire made it leave because it died because of it. So, Doran will now cast the
I'm glad we had that
same.
insight.
Oh, yes. No, Doran proclaims this. I am pleased that happened. And I will cancel this bonfire, which is no longer needed. And I will help our friend over there, McDancy, on the dock. So I'm going to move this fire. Yeah.
Can you cast fire in water? I guess you can cast it just above it. Alright, so that
Does
is...
say-
I
it
hate
does
to
say
say this, but it does
ground.
say on ground.
Yeah.
Oh, it does say on ground.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
since there's no ground there, I will say,
You can cast it
and
in
that
the
was
water.
a test. Well said. How about that one? I'll put it on the one next to other Rhea. You are now
No,
other
this-
Rhea.
Oh, okay. You just... I see the lines have been drawn in which
Well,
Rhea
this
people
Rhea
prefer.
is protecting me. That Rhea, I don't know what's
We
happening
like
over
weird Rhea with the pure
14.
black eyes. Other Rhea, on the other hand.
there. Yes. We don't dislike other Rhea, but it's not the same.
14 on its dex save.
14 makes it so I have no rolls for you.
Alright.
However, if it stays there, then I'll have more rolls for you.
Roger. Any movement?
Yes, I will slap the elk on the back and go, get him!
You have been slapped. Siliana, you're up.
Oh,
Dor-
we are having words when I get out of this. Can I move over here?
You can move wherever you'd like.
All right.
Not technically.
She does. She runs. One of her back legs gets Doran in the crotch. If I could. That is a full attack.
No, I have a shield codpiece.
Oh god.
I have concerns.
His groin has 30 AC.
So all of my abjuration bubble goes there. It's just, no.
I have something really inappropriate to say.
And attacks this one right here. The 19.
19 will hit the young creature, so we'll roll for damage.
Good.
84 points. Not enough to fell it, but does give it a good trampling. Okay. Anything else?
Oh no, that's it.
Katia,
I'm plotting my revenge. Really, is what I'm doing in my head.
Rapier attack.
Earthcole's silently begging for heals from somebody. Anybody?
I got no heals to give.
Alright.
Oi.
6 unfortunately doesn't
Earthcole
miss.
looks at Doran.
Creature is thrashing about.
Oh, good.
I guess in my swirly twirliness, I could have seen that Earthcole is a little bit in trouble. And I could bonus action healing word. I guess.
If it's not too much, if I'm not putting you out.
3 points.
Just putting out a little.
Trying to
Alright.
sword
This-
attack.
This should also have a song to it for healing words.
Don't be dead.
Okay. Unfortunately, the healing you provided me puts me at the exact HP required for the thing to kill me with its minimum damage.
What can I do?
Alright. So, any movement?
No, I do not want
Alright,
to.
the one behind you is thrashing about, and it's just going to try to grapple you again, as it's just trying to get purchase on anything. It's not an aquatic creature. So it will try to grab with its mouth on you. So again, this will be contested strength versus other things.
Oh.
And its mouth does close on you. Not doing any damage, but getting a good hold of you, and it is going to pull you back down into the water. It's going down in the water, not there. So you're down at the bottom. It's not, the water's not particularly deep, but it is over your head here, 'cause it's going to have enough draft for the boats. Pulls you down. The one next to you, Gruthkol, is going to make an attack, no longer at advantage, as all of its friends are dead. An 8.
Thank God.
Not true.
Does not hit. Well, I guess there is one.
He doesn't
more
like
there.
the other one.
Rhea, as you hear a splash behind you,
Yes.
you are up.
What about the one south of
Oh,
me?
there is one there. That one needs to
I
go.
mean, no,
I didn't,
it's
I didn't
fine.
see it because it was there.
Counts
It
more
is.
bonfires.
It is,
know.
since it won't take
Bonfires of
it'll
obscurement.
scamper over that way, and it will make a single stab attack at normal. 9
9 does not hit.
misses as it tries to stab out at you from the fire. Okay. And Rhea, you're up now.
Ria's.
Okay. Rhea's attention has been drawn by Katia, and so my reflection is going to go 5, 10, 15. Do I feel like I can reach down and like grab her from the dock and pull her back up, or is this an I have to go in the water stitch?
She's 5 feet down.
Stitch. Okay. Then I'm gonna jump in the water,
Okay.
which is puts me on top of her, I guess.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And you're fine. You don't have anything on you. And I'm gonna try to like free her from this thing.
All right, you can make a contested strength roll, or yeah, this will be a contested strength roll.
Okay. Athletics or straight? I mean, it doesn't matter.
Strength.
Not at advantage.
It's like a grapple contest.
Yeah.
This thing does not want to let go.
No, it does not.
All right, and it just looks like. You can see all the bubbles coming up out of its mouth.
Okay.
All right.
She is going to surface, but remain there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're already on the surface block.
Yeah. Well.
So you've effectively
I
made
presume that she, because it's like a 5-foot cube, so she would have dived down to the bottom of the 5-foot cube, and she's gonna come back up to the.
Yeah.
Pop back up.
I do like how mechanically you're making it so that she can't come straight up.
Oh, that's a good point.
She can go.
Well,
diagonal.
no, she can move through my space.
Yeah, she can move diagonally. Yeah, but there's
and
no
she can move through my
vertical
space because I
above
am
you.
not hostile to her.
Yeah, but there's no like she can't move up into the air above you. So, all right. At any rate, Cruthclaw, you're up. It has no real effect. But...
Cruthclaw gonna move around to here. Don't know what that noise meant, but I'm gonna make an attack with advantage. 13.
13
Does
will not
probably
hit.
not hit. Okay. I'm going to continue my circling and make puppy dog eyes to the elk to save my life.
Alright.
And then circle back to give advantage.
Alright,
Begging for
Doran,
heals.
you're up.
No, I don't need heals. I just need you to gore this thing to death for me.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah, I can do that.
All right,
Hopefully.
all right. So if Doran casts Spawn Flyer, Spawn Flyer right
Spawn
here,
Blyer, yeah.
Spawn Flyer, then it's going to have to make its dexterity saving throw. I will once again make it. I will
22.
once again not roll any damage. However,
The little
in
ones
order
are
to come
skittering.
closer to me, it's got to leave Ria's reach. So, and in order to maximize that,
Oh my god.
Run away!
Wait, it's tactics. This is deliberate. Ah, I'm done.
Liliana, you're up.
I will attack with advantage. Yes.
Mm.
The person,
Yep.
the little thing in front of me.
The little difference.
10 doesn't hit, but 21 does. So give me a damage roll. I don't think you can roll low enough
6.
to not kill it. That will be enough, as that one, as you kind of find, get some resistance, but then it just sort of disapparates underneath you, and this is cloud of dust. There? Anything else?
Excellent.
Movement?
Are these like steps here? Is
It's like a
space
little like porched area. Yeah, you can walk over that.
Alright.
It's elevated up a little bit, but it's only a couple steps. So
Alright.
you're kind of like awkwardly like some legs up on this 1.5 foot tall stoop. But
So I'm gonna walk over there.
all right, Kadia, you are up and under
Try.
water. This thing is gnawing on you.
You can see everything very, very clearly.
Oh yeah. The water's glowing.
Would it be disadvantage if I tried to rapier attack in the water with it clamping on my arm?
Yes, just because you're in the water for no other reason.
And then it would be like a strength roll to try and get it off me?
Yeah.
I am not strong.
Or you can use dexterity acrobatics to try to get loose.
Okay,
of its
I'm gonna try that.
grip, and that'll be contested against its strength. So 13 versus a
Yes.
7. You are able to pull to break free of the grapple, but that takes your action to do so.
Alright, my intent being to kick it in the face while I swim up.
So are you going to move?
Yeah, if I can swim up and get out of the water, that'd be great.
All right, show me where you're moving.
I'd like to move back up to here.
All right, as you leave its range, it's gonna stab out at you with its tendril at disadvantage. Or not tendril. Good thing, disadvantage.
Mandible.
It's its thing. 8 does not hit.
That was so lucky that it was disadvantage.
Appendage. Appendage is the right word. Yes. So it is now its turn.
Scissor hand over there.
It is sort of as it's followed Katie up, trying to stab in and latch back on. It just finds above it Ria's reflection. So it is going to make a stabby stab attack at disadvantage against you as it thrashes in the water. 13.
A 13 will not hit.
All right, and that will do it for its turn. It is your turn.
No, this one.
Yeah, there's
that
the
one
one
will
in front of-
also attack Ria. I keep forgetting
Oh,
that
the Ria.
one. Not at disadvantage.
Here, now it looks like a crown of fire.
16.
16 does not hit.
All right.
All right. I am going to attack the.
If it stays in that square, I'd like to burn it.
It will rotate out of the fire. And that'll be it for it. Ria, it's your turn.
Okay. I am going to, since Kadia is now out of danger, I am going to refocus on this one, which is did it move into flanking with Celiana?
It
Yeah.
did.
Yeah. Brilliant.
It's awesome.
Gonna attack that one at advantage with my rapier.
I didn't even see that.
20?
will hit it.
Non-natural. Only 4 points of piercing damage.
All right. Does manage to find its way in.
To balance out the fact that I rolled 2 8s and a 7, I guess. And my reflection will continue paddling water and glowing.
Gruthkal, you're up.
Okay, Gruthkal, going to go ahead and make my way over here. Yeah, that's fine. I guess I have to go. Hold on, let me measure. So
Don't
I
go
gotta
through the fire. Don't go through the
yeah,
fire.
exactly. Okay, I can't actually make it because of the fire. So that's fine.
Doran's just
attacking.
saying, no.
Attacking normally.
All right.
20
20 will definitely hit.
and 14 points of blaming damage.
Oh.
All right, that is enough to
Man.
obliterate it. You guys are rolling super high for damage. All right.
Well, I am using a 2d6 plus 3 weapon, so.
Well, you're using a 2d6
I'm-
weapon. You have
you rolled
plus-
11
I'm rolling
on those
very high for
2d6.
damage.
11 on 2d6 is very high.
Yeah. I mean, you could roll you could do 5 damage or 15 damage. And you did 14
I don't like
damage.
I don't like the sound of that. I hope
All
you
right.
understand.
Adult is down. Doran, you are up.
Bring it onto ground! Doran, a little unsure, moves a little forward and looks at his staff and swings it just to make sure maybe I could hit something with this if it gets close. But then decides that's dumb and moves back. I'm gonna have a held action casting bonfire for when it enters ground or anywhere that's an applicable casting spot like land, ground.
Celiana.
It being the creature, not like our party members. So this is the last one over here, correct?
Yep.
All right. I am gonna drop Wild Shape and reach out to Growthcole and cast Cure Wounds. Oh, that was a good one. That was a really good one. And I actually think I just do like a nice pat on the shoulder. I'm like, it's okay, we got this.
Oh my god! Thank God that you can do the healing and the goring.
It's a new thing. Usually it's more about the healing and the growing, but the goring was
It feels good, right? Yeah. It is
Yeah,
something about
it's-
the therapeutic effects of bloodshed and battle. You know, it is-
Yep. It's a new thing. Whew, she feels her head tip forwards.
New you.
Yeah. Yeah. And proceeds to. I think I'm gonna walk over here.
All right.
Yeah.
Kadia, you are up, out of the water, dripping wet. A little bit of seaweed just kind of stuck to your shoulder.
Which you love and eat. That's what we heard earlier.
But it has to be cleaned first.
Don't want it brined.
I want a thorn whip, but I don't know if I can do that in water.
You can
And over Rhea. Is this a possibility?
Yeah. What's the range? 30 feet?
30
Yeah.
feet.
Oh, yeah.
What I'd like to try to do.
All right. We'll be at disadvantage, though.
Okay.
No need for the disadvantage.
Oh, did you roll a 1?
Yes, I did.
Okay, look forward to that damage.
Sorry.
All right. As you are going sort of directly through a line, the thorn whip comes out and sort of hits Rhea's reflection off the shoulder and sort of curls once around the neck, and then you kind of like instinctually pull it off and it just rakes the thorns around. So you take 3 points of thorn to neck damage there.
Is it
Also
possible that I pull her 10 feet closer to me, though?
I think you have to.
By the neck? Yeah, we'll say that happens. You just pull her out of the water. You sort of see the shimmery reflection of both of them, and you think you've got it nailed down, and you just like and pull it back, and you caught the wrong fish. Yeah.
And for anybody paying attention to regular Rhea, she also she staggers back and reaches up, and you can see wounds open across her throat as well.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Anything else, Kadia?
I'm not a fisherman. That's it.
All right.
Yeah, you're not part of the union.
Seeing
Gotta join the
an
union.
opportunity presenting itself, this thing just...
Oh my god, it's doggy paddling.
See it doggy paddle. It doesn't move very fast in water. It actually gets out to here with a dash action as it appears to be paddling out. It's slowly kind of surfacing, and you can tell this thing probably doesn't have the swimming endurance or any, like, it's not an aquatic creature, so it is not a happy thing underwater. It has come up. Rhea?
Fuck. I don't got the ranged things. I gotta pick up like a bow or something.
I only doggy paddle.
What is the range? Is it 20-40 for a thrown dagger?
Yes.
I guess I will try to throw a dagger at it.
Okay.
At a disadvantage.
It's on the surface, so not at disadvantage.
But it's more than 20 feet away from me.
Then it's at disadvantage.
At disadvantage.
2060. 2060.
All right. You huck your dagger into the water.
It disappears. Don't got a dagger?
Skips across the water.
No, not with an 8. It just...
So if Reflection Rhea throws a dagger, do you keep yours? I'm confused.
Actually, that's a good point. I'm confused.
Actually, theoretically, I think by the way it's worded, the dagger just reappears on it. Because it says that the reflection is equipped exactly the same as I am.
At all times? Unlimited daggers!
Yeah, so, but if you make a ranged... You're the same thing, right? So if you make a ranged attack with a piece of ammunition, that piece of ammunition leaves your character's inventory, so it's gone.
That's fair.
Does that mean that also things like quest items are equipped the same? So if, say...
Magic items are not.
Magic items aren't, right? But let's say that actual Rhea had like some key, right? And she could conjure up her thing 30 feet away. That would also have the key, which she could then throw to something. That's fucking wild. I love that.
And then actually, I think even if I got like a magic sword, like for example, if the Moonblade magically remanifested itself, and
Hint,
Rhea was
hint.
carrying it, other Rhea would still have a long sword, but it wouldn't be the Moonblade.
Okay.
Be like a
It'd be
sunblade
the base.
duality.
Fuck that
Yes, it
was.
would just be a regular longsword. At least until I get to a much higher level.
That won't happen.
All right. Anything, Rhea? More
Nope,
movement?
that's all I got.
Gruthkol. Are you guys planning to
Okay.
pursue this thing? It is obviously fleeing.
Yes.
Okay.
Cannonball!
Well, that was the plan. Running jump off the pier, which gives me my strength score. Right? And
Yeah.
feet traveled. So 16 feet. So running jump. Actually, how does the... Can that go over your movement cap with a jump?
No.
So do
can
you just like hit a wall?
Well,
The movement wall.
you can only go up to the distance total of
Right,
your, of
but
your movement, right?
that's like running, right? But if your jump is
Think
a certain
think
thing-
about your jump going like up and then down, right?
Your jump doesn't end your movement.
No, but what I'm saying is that does the distance of the jump count? Okay, so I run 20 feet, right? And then I jump.
Right.
So I have 16 feet of jump. Do I get all 16 feet, or do I hit the 10 feet mark and then just stop?
No, you
Okay.
definitely bleed into the next part of your next move or your dodge action.
Dodge action.
Or
Okay, well,
not dodge up. That's
dash.
dash.
Okay, that's fine. So I'll make it this far.
Yeah. I
and
don't think
then-
you can move past your regular movement unless you dash.
Yeah. I'm gonna,
Otherwise, people would just always.
Okay. Oh, but all right. So
High
okay.
strength
So, but
That's the lead prerogative.
so if I decide to dash action, then I actually travel further before getting
Into the water.
difficult terrain. So
Correct.
dash action with the jump. I mean, I can get to it regardless, but I'm just gonna get to it. Okay.
Doran says as you disappear.
I'm
Crisco wearing
actually-
armor.
I'm a real good. So I want to be on the other side of it, which I could get to with my movement.
Okay. You just sort
but
of dive
yeah.
down, sort of underneath it, and such.
I just kind of showed on the map.
What is everybody else doing? Just sort of
Um,
do it all at once here.
I'm
I like to
gonna-
throw my last magic stone.
Okay, make an
Yeah.
attack roll. Anyone making ranged attacks, just do so
I was
now.
gonna run down here and make a produce flame attack.
Okay.
I am going to run like along to the edge
21
of
will
this.
hit it, and that is enough to kill it.
Yes.
I will stay vigilant for the rest of them that are about to show up.
As you beat it off the head with a rock, and another, all of this just like stuff crashes in around you, Gruthkol, and you are out
It's
of
a
combat
chair,
now.
a table.
Out of
Where
Where did you
combat.
get that?
I am soaking wet. Prestidigitation. Forgetting the fact that I should be careful about that now. Still doing it.
And you can see that the cloud of energy is now all swirled up, and there's just a ton of energy right here.
I am going to walk back around down onto the dock, and then you see the very peculiar sight of two Rhiannons just standing looking at each other as she kind of like lifts a hand up, and the other, like this her reflection, this like kind of strange otherworldly Rhiannon also like holds a hand up, and you can see them kind of just like
High five.
touch their fingertips together, and she like pulls back her hand and seems just like perplexed and a little bit frightened of this alternate version of herself. But which continues to remain because this reflection persists for 10 minutes.
Rhea, you have a twin shiny person. I'm so
I-
sorry, by the way. I did not mean to touch you with the thorn whip.
That's okay.
You alright?
Is
I'm
this going to happen to
fine.
all of us?
No, I think this is unique to me.
Doubtful.
And she's just like, she's still just like staring at it.
Well, do you speak other Rhea?
The other Rhea just kind of turns and looks at you, and it has this kind of just like, just very serious, stoic expression on its face, but it gives you no response. It seems to like understand what you're saying, but.
Do you know what she's thinking?
There's nothing in here but me.
Yes, but that's also you, is it not?
Yes.
Sort of?
It seems to be. I mean, it certainly,
Do you sometimes
and they
glow
both
in a
have
radiant?
they both have like twin red marks across, like slashed across their throats as well. To the best of my knowledge, I don't glow, no.
I like it.
I'm glad I should.
Is Danger still here?
Noticeably, you don't see her anywhere.
Danger left as the danger arrived, which I thought was very interesting.
Danger?
Watch yourself. Sorry.
You can make a perception roll if you are interested in searching for her.
6.
Don't see her.
Well,
whatever these creatures were seemed to subsist of sorts on the residuum. Also, when they died, were they not then made into or reverted back to residuum? I don't know why that word is so hard. It's actually rather residuum.
Actually, I have a question. Does my reflection seem to also be shedding the same kind of residuum?
Make investigation roll.
Little footsteps of residuum as they walk.
Investigation. Oh, I'm so good at this. Boy, someday I'll play a character whose dump stat is an intelligence. 2. There's just a lot of glowing going on.
There's a lot of glowing. It's hard to tell. Maybe.
So it looked like these creatures were eating it?
And then became it because I saw Grithkill. Oh, did Grithkill come
you
back
eat.
out of the water?
I like to think Grithkill's just like walking along the bottom.
But when Grithkill smushed one, it burst into more residuum. Is that not what I saw?
That is what you saw.
No, out to the crowd. Is that not what I saw? Did you not see? Did you see something else?
No,
I
it
was
seemed
pulled into
like
the water.
it seemed like they were subsisting on it and returning to it.
So,
I saw them do the expulsion.
so what we know is that either they are creatures of this residuum that have formed into whatever that creature could be described as some sort of big old dust mite, or they were consuming it, and whatever remained was whatever residuum they consumed. One or the other.
Oh.
We can't really think of a third option, although possibilities.
Did it seem like the bigger one left a much larger cloud than the smaller ones? Okay. So that seems to suggest to me that it was the creatures returning to the residuum as opposed to.
Or the amount consumed.
But they were consuming it at the same rate.
I can't eat as much as Grithkill.
Yes, but if you and Grithkill sat down at the same table and began eating at the same time.
Grithkill would win, both in consumption and in speed.
This is true.
Okay, yes, I guess this isn't a good example.
Ziliana takes off her boots and starts walking around, kind of feeling like not quite in the residuum, but she starts like just, walking on some of it.
Oh, bravo on the shape changer. Well done, by the way.
Oh, hey, you slap me one more time when I'm in animal form or any other time.
No. It was an encouraging tap.
Oh, no, it wasn't.
Yes, I've seen.
Don't treat me like that.
What? I was.
What?
I'm
sorry.
No, I was being supportive. You don't understand.
You slapped me on the backside.
No, it was more of a go get him.
Didn't feel like that to me.
Well, but now you know.
Now you know. You lay a hand on me like that again, or anyone else, and you will find yourself in a world of hurt.
You can give me encouraging slap on ass. It is very common in the Academy of
Here's
Warriors.
the difference, though. She consented to that. I do not.
Consented? I didn't do anything wrong. You acted like somehow I violated.
Let's put it this way.
No. I'm not going to be painted as some bad guy. I was encouraging you. I'm sorry that you took it wrong. But now
and
that
if
you know
you do it
truth,
again, it's going to be taken wrongly by
if you
both
know
of
the
us.
truth and you continue to act this way, then you're alienating me for something I didn't do wrong.
Okay. I think the moral of the story is you know she does not like, so you do not do again.
Well, I don't intend to, but the point was
excellent.
That she's
so we are all
threatening me as if I did something wrong, and I will not know.
You're all friends, except for me and nobody in particular. Let's move on.
Sorry, Grithko, were you about to declare enmity with someone?
Look, Maria, now you have new best friend. Perhaps I go find friend, huh?
I don't. Maria just like gestures helplessly over at the other version of herself, which is standing next to her, completely expressionless. She's like, I don't think I would call this a friend.
Oh, why not? She's you.
Are you
friends with yourself?
That's a very complicated question to ask me to figure out and work through. And on the docks at 9 o'clock at night, when there's a glowing version of me right next to me that I can't explain.
Is there someone you'd like to talk to that'll make you feel better about yourself?
Selves. It's plural.
I mean, if you want, I can turn into you and we can talk about it.
Oh, that would be so good. You can work out all your issues.
Can I, though?
Yeah.
Could you categorize the differences between you two? There's obvious differences, besides the fact that you're luminescent in one version, but there's also...
Yes, I mean, we look very different. Okay. And one of us appeared out of thin air. Sorry, what did you say?
I was just asking what causes that, I wonder.
I don't know. I don't know why I can do this. I've never heard of anybody else being able to do this. I don't have an explanation.
Did something happen to you recent? Well, I shouldn't ask that question because a lot has happened to us in the past day.
Yes, there were things that happened to me before I died multiple times in a time loop with all of you. But that doesn't... Having a bad... I guess you could call it traumatic experience. I mean, lots of people have had traumatic experiences and can't then suddenly summon up different versions of themselves. I mean...
It's all right.
I don't have an explanation.
Is that how you see yourself?
No! I see myself as me! I'm not... And she, like, looks over at it again, and the reflection has also now crossed its arms. But, like, the reflection, too, is, like, because Rhea is dressed in, like, leather armor and has, like, this kind of dark metal shield on her back, and the reflection is dressed in, like, this enameled, like, it's, like, plate, almost. Like, it's much heavier armor than what she's wearing.
Maybe it's future you. We weren't just time jumping.
I don't know, but it's inspiring a song. I am got to write down this little song right here.
I'm glad.
The duality of life.
What would you all like to do now?
I think so. Some of these burst out of a door, correct?
Window of the room, the building here.
I would like to look into that window.
All right. Looking in, you see there is a pool of energy, again, sort of in there, much fainter, but it is a collection of it, and there is a little bit of sort of remains isn't the right word because it's not like a whole corpse or something, but you do see kind of like a spray of blood or and such underneath. Like something was there.
You said
Or
spray.
something was like injured there perhaps, or but there you do see like a not like huge puddles of blood, but a sprays of blood underneath it.
Did these things bleed when they, like...
You didn't see any sort of blood or guts or anything like that.
So I think, is this window, can I crawl and just like climb into it?
Yeah, I mean you can kind of clear off the rest of the glass and hop over in. It's easy enough to do.
My reflection is going to follow her as well, so there is light going with you.
Perfect,
Okay.
because I can't see a thing.
I'm gonna keep a lookout for danger.
Okay.
So yeah, I want to...
Danger or
Both
danger?
kinds.
Both kinds of danger.
And like, is there any bodies around, or
Make an investigation. Please.
I knew that was gonna do it. Hey, it's bright, and there's some blood.
No bodies.
A little help, please. There's blood in here, and more of the residuum.
I would like to jack of all trades investigation.
Okay. And you know that just applies to everything all the time, right? As like
Yes.
a passive thing.
It's just wanted to.
Yep.
So as this adds +1.
So that there is a way in your character sheet that you can have that just automatically happen to everything.
I'll have to play with it
Yep.
after we're done. So
You can
11.
do that. 11. You're looking for bodies.
Yeah, I guess wherever you said
Yeah.
spray.
Starting around there, you definitely see that there is blood kind of sprayed. It's fresh, like still wet to the touch. You don't see any other bodies. There's no body parts or anything. It does look like there is a little bit of a scuffle inside of this building. It's kind of like a long table that looks like you kind of come in and empty out things to be sorted, and then they sort of get pushed down along the table. And there's a stack of crates. So there's a big door that goes out to the dock where the water is, and then there's this long table, and it looks like from the scrape marks on the table that they come put the boxes on, they kind of slide them along, and then they either get repacked or something. And then there's another big door on the other side kind of going out, and there's a stack of crates there, and it looks like some of the crates have kind of been knocked over and cracked a little bit. And
No, like, lost items that maybe are following that blood trail or anything like that.
don't see anything with an 11.
And it just ends. Like,
It's
is it like
just
a
like-
smear?
It doesn't look like anything. It looks like something was like stabbed or hit or something and just sort of sprayed blood across the floor.
Okay, but no like dragging marks.
Nope, it's just little droplets.
Okay, follow the droplets.
I mean, they end after
Oh, okay.
about 2 feet, 2.5 feet or something.
And it's fresh.
It is fresh.
Hi. I don't know.
We think perhaps that Danger went into these shards that Danger was talking about. Because these things pop out of nowhere. Perhaps this is opportunity for going into other place.
That's a very good observation.
Maybe she's in the sewer.
That is also a possibility. We could go there and look, as that was next place, correct?
Well, do you want to talk to union people?
Not really. If you wish to, that is fine.
It seems like middle of the night is not the best time to talk to union people.
You know that business does not generally stay open all night. It's not like the all-night union headquarters, so they would be closed.
It'd be hilarious if they had a night shift, but none of the workers did.
I am the union president. I haven't slept in years.
Those bitches are well rested. Anyway.
Oh, Jesus.
Okay. What would you guys like to do?
Sewer?
Sewer.
So,
Bar.
Old district?
Through.
Old district, old town?
But
Yes.
can we, like, go through Modstein Square?
That's... Wait,
It's on the way,
I
though,
think.
right?
It is
I
on
think
the
it's
way.
the opposite. Oh, it's not in the
Oh,
opposite direction.
we're in the northern.
You guys
Are we in the northern
you're like
docks?
up here, right?
I misunderstood.
Oh,
the docks were
okay.
on.
Okay.
And you're going. The place you're trying to go is here.
Oh yeah.
Is that where she said?
Yes. Yes! Oh, man. I don't have a mask.
All right. So heading to Modstein's Square.
only
Probably
need it-
buy
you really-
one there.
You only really need it if you're performing.
Oh, but, like,
Truly,
it's, like...
truly.
I don't like going without a mask. Oh, well, I'm gonna go anyway, because I want to see this performance. If it's happening. If I didn't miss it.
You begin to make your way south, eventually emerging from the dock district, looking a little bit worse for wear. Definitely some scrapes and bruises amongst all of you. As you approach kind of within a block or so, there's definitely obvious sort of commotion and length or groups of people moving in and towards there. And so your intent is to go into like the crowd in the square as well. All right. So you sort of come past this first row of houses, and there's a few of you who have been to Modstein Square. Just like, I mean, all of you have been here before. It's just sort of a thing that you would do at the city, but some of you have spent a lot more time here than others, and kind of know your way, and you know that there's a very large fountain that's good 40 or 50 feet in diameter that has a whole bunch of different levels to it and different polished statues and such, and there's water that cascades down all of that. And there's a bunch of sort of curving paths that come from all the various alleys and roads that kind of feed into this, and between them are nice sort of patches of greenery. There's some trees. It's basically like a park that's, I don't know, maybe about a half of a city block square thereabouts in size, and it is packed with people. And so as you get through into that first entry, you can feel that the area has that kind of energy and anticipation in it, like a bunch of people sitting in an auditorium before a show at a theater, like waiting for the curtain to rise and the show to start. And the crowd there just sort of thrums with this joyful anticipation, and there's probably about half a dozen acts of mostly musicians and minstrels and such, just sort of interspersed amongst playing what comes to all of your ears as very sort of normal basic things, and people are sort of acknowledging the music but not, focusing on it in any particular way. So you make your way through the crowd past these, and there's a trio of minstrels there that all kind of like tip their hats in unison, and you're like, oh, that must be their thing. Great. As you go by, and you come to the center of this monumentous fountain, and you can see that there are these sort of magical arcane street lamps that are positioned all around that kind of give this illusion of fire, but they're not really fire. They're arcane lights. They're like the fake LED fire bulbs there. But the light does sort of bounce off of all the shiny surfaces of the statues and create this sort of ever kind of flowing, changing, nice yellow, orangish sparkle to everything there. And as you look around, kind of pushing your way through here, you settle into a spot kind of in the middle, looking around for certain things. What would you like to do as you've kind of stepped now out off of like this main sort of flow of people into an area kind of near the fountain where you're at the middle, and
I would like to look for any special things happening.
all right, perception roll, please.
13.
All right. Looking around, it's kind of hard to tell throughout the crowd. There's lots of things going on, lots of little groups of people. The general sort of noise level is pretty high. There's a din in the crowd, excitement. Some people have food and drink, competing sounds of different bands and everything. Nothing strikes you as different or out of the ordinary as like normal that wouldn't normally be happening.
Oh, so you saw my message. I want to make sure that Emperor Stanwell has a bird's idea.
Okay, this can be done.
The residuum here, is it crazy?
Make an investigation roll.
This will be with +1 for Jack of all trades. Well.
Duality of dice.
All right. So with a 22, looking around, you do notice that there is, there's definitely that kind of normal layer of wisps that you've come to expect and kind of have almost just gotten used to seeing at this point in the day. It does have a very, very, very low amount of almost like bioluminescence to it. And as it sort of like crests and turns, you can see like little sparklies in it. It's kind of quite beautiful in a sort of romantic way. And it does seem like there's a bit of a higher concentration here, but it doesn't look like it's under the musicians. It looks like it's under the crowd in general.
Okay. This is my favorite spot in the entire city, and it just looks even more beautiful, doesn't it?
As soon as we like came in and people kind of like settled in the middle, what I would like to do, well, that's what I was gonna say. I'm not gonna be there. I would like to go and try to find a vendor that's selling masks. Like as soon as I like kind of figure out where people are standing.
I mean, there are people selling masks from baskets that are like walking around and just sort of like the cheap like sell all the tourists to the thing there. So it's for a silver for a nice one, or a handful of copper for sort of a very basic like sort of flat mask on a stick.
Okay, I'm gonna spend the requisite silver to get everybody a mask. And I am going.
Ziliana has tied on her simple leather one.
I'm going to get one that looks like a butterfly for Kadia. I'm going to get for Doran. Doran has a raven, right? That's what Stanmore is?
Yes, absolutely.
So a raven mask for him.
Sure.
He's an emperor first and a raven second.
That's true. I'm going to need a crown as well. But a little one.
And then, let's see. For Ziliana, I'm going to get a fox, I think. And for Gruthkol, I'm going to get a wolf. And I am going to get for myself an owl. And also, like, at some point during the walk over here, the reflection, like, dissipated, and she became, like, noticeably less, like, on edge and stressed as soon as it disappeared. And so she comes back and, like, hands out these masks and ties on her own owl mask. You just, love, you just ascended to a range that I don't think even bats can hear anymore. And I help her tie it on and everything and make sure it's on straight.
Thank you. Thank you.
I think before we got to this point, I ducked into the inn that I've been staying at, the back paddock, and collected the basket that I was going to sell tonight, and have been kind of vending flowers the whole time, like as we're walking. Kind of half-heartedly because it's distracting of what's going on, but, you know, trying to, you know, sell a little bit.
Make a persuasion roll for me, please.
Okay, maybe.
I'm sorry, what was that?
Persuasion roll for me.
Oh, sell a bit of flowers. 20.
20. So with that, I mean, even though it's sort of lackluster, go ahead and roll a d4 for me. You are able to kind of go through, and because there's such a crowd here, you're able to sell enough masks to make 3 gold from it.
Ooh.
As I mean, people are, or not masks, flowers rather.
Yeah.
As people are just, grabbing one, giving it to their partner, or this or that. One guy comes over and, scoops up a whole bunch, just starts handing them out to people. It's a very kind of joyous, happy crowd, and people are putting them in their hair and all of that. So the sale means to work, and you sell kind of pretty much your entire basket. And as you sort of make your rounds and then return your way back to the crowd itself, or back to the party itself, all of you notice that the various sort of arcane torch lamplights there kind of like flicker for a moment, and then they all go out in unison, leaving the entire square just sort of down to pitch black. There were a couple open flames of braziers there. Those two just sort of, you can almost hear the fizzle as these columns of silvery smoke just waft up from them. And for you guys, you can still see almost sort of like the silhouettes of all the people's legs and stuff, because the residuum on the ground is sort of that very faint sparkly gold to it. And all of the music kind of stops as there's just this general like energy and anticipation in the crowd as everyone kind of looks around to see what's going on there. And a few moments pass as you can hear the sudden quiet turns into kind of like little nervous whispers, and people start talking, and then you hear it, and like a beam of light parting and warming its way through darkness, there's a single soprano voice that emerges from above the din of the crowd, and the purity of the tone just immediately resonates through you in a way that no sound has ever really settled into your body, into your soul, and you can feel it almost having this weird kind of like harmonizing effect with your thoughts, as if it's sort of like everything you think, it's just enriching and bolstering it. And it's a very reassuring, calming feeling. And soon you kind of see like all those around you, your attention just sort of like goes out, and everyone's sort of looking around and searching for the source of this ethereal voice that you just hear lost on the breeze. What would you like to do?
Look for the voice. Look for the voice. Look for the voice.
Perception roll, please.
I would like to assist her in this.
All right.
Good.
18.
So 19 with assistance.
Oh, yes, 19.
Looking around, you think you've kind of like pinpointed it. And it's almost like trying to find like the direction that the wind or breeze is coming from. It seems like it's coming nice straight from this, and then you kind of feel a little bit of a cross breeze across, and you just can't quite. Anytime you think you've pinned it down, it just shifts a little bit.
Alright, I can't find it. I'm gonna dance.
I would, of course, like to use the bird's eye view, but instead of trusting the bird on this one specifically, I'm going to assume the role of eyes and ears.
Okay.
Since I'm in the dark anyway.
Yeah. So,
which
perception
is
roll as well.
my perception roll. And trying to find concentrations of residuum that may help lend us a direction. For that,
All right.
I rolled a 9. Well, I'm sorry, I rolled a 5. We got a 9.
Yeah. So as you kind of close your eyes and transfer your senses up and out, you do see this kind of just wash of this residuum from higher. It's very, very sort of pretty, but like the singing in your ears is almost just like distracting from being able to kind of physically pinpoint. You find yourself having it hard to focus, and so you don't pinpoint anything in exact. And you do notice that it almost seems like as the voice just continues to carry on this strains of music, it seems like the light from the stars is almost just kind of like descending down, and as you see this from like the bird's eye view, sort of these little twinkles of light just sort of sit on top of the whole crowd, just slowly rotate over the whole thing, creating this very sort of surreal, dreamlike effect.
Is that also golden?
No, those are sort of the same sort of pinpoint pricks of this white silver light from the stars.
Okay.
And so, looking around, all of you sort of with your senses on the ground, one by one, you start seeing the crowd sort of reacting to this, and the emotion of it sort of overcoming people. And some of the individuals there close their eyes. Some you can see like just these bright beaming smiles on their faces, like a little tear trickling down. Some people look a little bit more melancholy, but in a kind of a reverent way. And even one man beside you kind of just like drops down to his knees and almost like assumes like a meditative pose there, as they all just sort of, like one by one, you can see people just sort of immersing themselves into this. I need all of you to make a wisdom saving throw.
I also have to talk to Katie.
Is this a charm?
This is 100% a charm effect.
Okay.
So if you are an elf or something, you have advantage on saving throw against this.
21. None of that elf shit gonna get in the way of me.
All right. So the DC is.
It did work. Okay. Yeah.
The DC is 14.
Damn, I'm consumed.
Right.
Yeah, as this is happening, like Zilgana is like I think she was like really like enraptured, but like this all just felt, it gave her spider ticklies weirdness.
Yeah. All right. So, for those of you that have failed, you kind of feel yourself giving into this. Your proficiency bonus increases by 1 for the next 24 hours.
Okay.
For those of you
Succeeding doesn't feel so good.
For those of you
Since I crit failed, does that mean mine increases by 2?
No. So for those of you that did succeed though, the sound of the voice just dulls ever so slightly to you, and it loses that ethereal quality. And you feel like for a moment this sort of like cold
It's auto-tune.
Cold stoicism about it. The sweeping lyrics of it seem like they're sung in this sort of long forgotten, eloquent ancient language that's sort of equal parts joyous and reverent, but still a bit melancholy. And most of you can't place this, but Rhea and Ziliana, you do recognize the angelic strands of Celestial.
All that tutoring paid off when I was a kid.
Yes.
Well, it's definitely not undercommon.
Be a goblin.
Katie, you may appreciate this performance even better. Find yourself high ground and look down. Trust me, you'll love it. It's right up your alley.
It is beautiful, but look above.
Yes, now, this was... Oh, I see what's happening here. You've taken one of your so-called drugs that you've mentioned 17 times. I see.
No, do you have some? Because that would enhance the performance, like, so well.
Oh, good.
You snapped me out for 2 seconds. No? Okay, going back to it.
So, is any of the celestial recognizable?
Yeah, I mean, you speak the language, so just
okay.
sort of like long extended, and it's actually the same sort of verse just kind of repeated. The melody changes a little bit.
Knocked in.
The lyrics, as they would be, are wake to our reverie. Breath of joy sings contentment into being. Without your light, the darkness comes. Without your light, the darkness comes.
I'm copying and pasting that in.
Yeah.
I can't write fast enough.
I would like it for my notes.
I say them out loud. And I don't know if Rhea is near me to, like.
Yeah, she is.
Okay.
She isn't mouthing along with it or anything. Just
Right.
listening.
Dorrant, since you have a bird's eye view of all of this, you are the first to notice. From the crowd itself, residuum just begins, like, seeping up and pouring out. And you can see that the level of it on the ground is on the rise.
I see.
And that's where we're going to end tonight.
I go, Crystal!
This is like the part of the movie where they say the name of the movie.
It is.
Must be some kind of hot tub time machine.
And if you're
Oh yeah.
Haven't seen
looking
that
for
in a while.
this track, it is from Kevin MacLeod. It's called Send for the Horses.
Lovely.
And we will pick up there next week. Good work, everyone.
Work team.
You're digging more into there. I will.
Finally got to use the key portion of my class, my largest class feature, the class feature that the class is built around. After 3 sessions.
I'm so glad we caught this. Oh yeah.
All right. Well, thank you all for playing. That was lovely. You
Thank
got
you
to
for
meet
beginning.
Danger, whom only one of you have figured out the secret of Danger so far.
I know the name, I just don't know where from.
Danger Mouse.
Very good. I don't know if
I'm
no,
surprised that
I
Beth
think that
didn't
was
get it.
I think that was pre. It's
It
pre.
was pre-stream.
It was pre-stream. There's an Easter egg in there somewhere. Cool.
She like one of the celestial people? I don't know.
She's not one of the celestial people.
She had a name like
her, her nature is profoundly ironic. And yet entirely in character.
I
That
don't.
helps. This,
I don't
what?
Such
understand.
a
that,
perfect
that is the best
character.
Dora hint ever.
It's not a hint at all.
Well, exactly. Cool. Well, thank you to Roll20.net, the virtual tabletop experience that you have seen, and for having us as part of your Spotlight program. Thank you, Kevin MacLeod. This track's Send for the Horses. If you want to check it out, all the music is royalty free there. You can just Google Kevin MacLeod and royalty free music and find it. Imcomptech is the website. Cool. We are still continuing with Lions and Crows on Thursday nights at 7:30 Eastern, so tune in there as Timur DMs us through that game. And then, of course, next week on Monday, we will continue on the rise to see what is going on in Vesular. Anyone else have any announcements? None.
I won't be here Thursday. I don't know if that's an
Uh,
announcement.
Holly is not going to be
No.
here Thursday, so if you only watch the show for Holly, don't bother.
Good-
No,
good
come
for you.
anyway
Good for you.
because we
Good
will
for
be
you.
hilariously playing her character for her.
Oh, very nice.
Beth has volunteered to do all the voiceover work,
It's true.
Yes.
And I'm going to be
and there's-
responsible.
Golly.
There's an in-chat lottery. If the character dies, who has to break it to Holly?
Oh.
That's almost true. It's almost
It's- if you guys kill me, I'm gonna be very sad.
We will do our best to not kill you, Holly.
What's that, Jesse? You want to launch yourself into the great void? Well, we can't stop you.
I know who's responsible for my death if I die.
Who?
You.
I take no responsibility.
I'll take that. I'm the DM. I'll kill you. It's fine.
Cool. Well, thank you all for watching. We greatly appreciate it. Check out the socials. Check out the website. There's a bunch of links down below if you want to see more of stuff. And if you're interested in that quirky, amazing class that Dora is playing, check out The Reflectionist on DM's Guilds and join the 1,000 other people who have purchased it. Cool. We will see you on Thursday. Thanks for hanging out.